The party continues live. Welcome back to Project Night Shift's Deadlock broadcast. This is our 15th one, and this night shift has been cooking already. A speedy win by the Buff Enjoyers and a new appearance by Cosmetical. Before we dive deeper, though, Jake, we want to revisit some numbers because you guys have been crunching them to find out what do the pros like to play and what do they like to play with. So we start here with our prioritization. Who has been the most sought after player in the draft?
Yeah, so we can see some of the top picks from last week, right? To get a sense of the meta here with Kelvin and Paige right up there at the top. Kelvin getting banned out a ton and being taken first pick otherwise. Holiday and Infernus really top slots on the carry role. Paradox just, one of your bread and butter best Deadlock heroes has kind of been forever, man. I wonder if Paradox is ever going to take a big nerf because, man, this hero's always on top. And then Shiv and Yamato, your leaders there in the front line. GT also got 6 picks last week, so I'm curious to see if GT might feature in this next series, given that both teams actually show a lot of competency on that hero.
DDK, I'm looking there. I only see 2 next to Sinclair, 2 next to Pocket, and we haven't seen a Victor yet tonight. Any chance we see Viper move up to a 2?
Yeah, I don't know about that one, but the Sinclair one's interesting, right? Because it could be a strategic thing in terms of the draft, where if you leave Kelvin open like we saw previously, and Shiv's banned, and you incentivize the other team to pick Kelvin, you're kind of setting yourself up to pick Sinclair. So if that is the strategy in the draft, we might see Sinclair more, just because teams might still feel like Kelvin's too good to pass up. So we could see that dynamic come into play. So I think there's some chance for him to go up, and I also Pocket with Cosmetical being so good on it. It is interesting for sure. I feel like we will see also more Pocket.
Out of the 7 games, Vindicta made it in 5 times. Impressive numbers there from Night Shift number 14. This is Night Shift number 15, though, and let's take a look at the items we expect to see back in action. DDK, do you got a favorite in the meta right now? It seems like Spirit Shielding is the go-to for our pros.
Yeah, I think Spirit Shielding, Reactive Barrier, 2 items that are super nice just to keep you sustaining the lane and just being able to survive any sort of situations which would otherwise take you out of the lane. There's burst damage when it comes online, when the ults come online, various spots like this. Keeps you, I think, in a better spot to just maintain parity in the lane in terms of the soul, just gaining souls. So I think that's one of the reasons why it's so important to be able to get these items early on so that you can just stay alive longer. I mean, healing right's the same thing, right? So it's all about sustain on the lane.
One of these things I think this is a great call out for a lot of players playing Deadlock at home is that Healbane is bought 3.6 times per game. That means on average, it's almost 2 times per team. I think this is an item that is criminally underbought at lower levels. People don't realize how good Healbane is. That heal on kill, so powerful in turning around fights and allowing you to keep going after getting that first kill. And then Healbane just is an incredibly powerful passive effect, reducing those heals incoming to your target if you can hit them with some spirit damage. So this is, I think, one of those items that people need to be buying more in their games and lower rank. And you can see from these top level buys, it's being bought quite often.
Wait, I get healed if I kill. Which character is that? Or sorry, which item is that?
Healbane.
That's the Fortnite one, guys. Okay, if you're a Fortnite player, you want number 9. Let's move forward. That is our pick and prio. But now it's time to introduce you to the competition for your EU Grand Finals with a total of $1,200. Thanks to our donators tonight. Is that the right number, CFO?
It might end up being more because we split the prize pool down the middle. So by the end of the show, when we know the full prize pool, that's when we'll split it down the middle, and half is going to go to the EU winner, half is going to go to NA. But I think it's at least 1,200. I think it's probably more than that already. So we'll wait till we get the final tally. But it's a very healthy prize pool. This is a big week, and it's kind of a perfect week to have a nice big prize pool because Buff Enjoyers and Abraham's clashing. People have been wanting this matchup for weeks now, and finally they're going to get it.
I just, I did all the other gigs when I knew you guys were going to have not the best matches, and I came back when I knew you'd have the best matches. So I appreciate you saving this one for me, DDK. Let's dive into it, says Solomon, our producer, all the way from the UK. He's not Scottish, but he smells that way. We got Sonya Sniper together, Saint, MXSM, I can read, Taz, ABL, and DMOV. ABL, still the rock star to watch? Is it Taz on the Paradox with the consistency? What makes this team so dangerous in your eyes, DDK?
I think one of the things has been actually together on Shiv. I think it's been one of those things where you actually cannot give it away. They're together. You have to make sure that Shiv is not pickable for them, because otherwise it's just like an auto win for Abraham. So I'd say together on Shiv. Obviously ABL's always a shout in terms of the carry potential, the star potential, but just back to front, this roster is really impressive. And we're seeing Dimov expanding his hero pool as well. And Saint, you know, we're talking about a situation where Saint gets onto Kelvin. That's also like a different story, right? Yeah, you can still pick Sinclair into that maybe, but Saint's Kelvin is pretty nuts.
Yeah, there's a lot of threats in this team. I think Taz looks like one of the best initiator players in the game right now. I think Paradox is going to be a hotly contested pick. ABL and Dimov, these two guys together are really scary on any kind of high skill characters. I mean, both of these guys have huge hero pools. They're never going to be banned out. They're never going to be worried about what they actually get coming out of the draft. But you as the opponent, you better be worried about them because they consistently have big games and really lead the way. Together, also one of the best frontliner players in EU. There's a reason Abrahams has won for quite a few weeks in a row now.
It's time to find out who kicks this one off with a W. Remember, the challenger gets the advantage, so it'll be up to the Abrahams to defend against the buff enjoyer. Sherrick, Listic, Opakim, Hoot, Cosmetical is in the lineup officially now alongside Zergy. And I just noticed that Zergy, the guy that used to play Tunner 7, isn't going to play 7. They were at the very bottom of that pick priority. So if I have a sick aimer who uses a trackball DDK, what heroes do I put him on for him to pop off?
Yeah, I think Infernus is one you're going to see for Zergy. Zergy has played a lot of Mina as well, which is kind of a different playstyle than what he was otherwise playing previously, but Mina's also less in the priority. So I do think that Zergy is one of those players that his hero pool is more bannable than some other players. So okay, that's one to look out for.
Listic, of course, just showcased the Sinclair. Any expectations, any change of composition, knowing they're going up against a familiar foe, Jake?
I don't know. I feel like Buffinger's that last comp is one that, you know, like a lot of people looked at the chat or in the chat, they were saying like, what is this draft? This is looking crazy. Honestly, for me, I've been kind of seeing more of these drafts at the very elite level recently, where teams are going a little bit less deathball-y with the frontliners and picking more of these high mobility, ultra high skill characters and relying rather than on like having a strong frontline, just on being so deadly and so mobile that you constantly keep the wave shoved out and you can kind of get in and get out of whatever fights you want. So in theory, if the frontline deathball can like force an objective on mid boss or on a walker, you could regret that. But if you never let the game get to that point and you're just playing that mobility game, I mean, there's something to that for me, at least at top level Deadlock right now. So maybe expecting to see both teams contesting picks like Pocket and Sinclair, even though the prio has been relatively low the last couple weeks.
Let's lock things up and get it going, Solomon. As soon as the draft is ready, we will let this one roll. We got DDK, we got Jake, and we have your favorite players from all of Europe competing in your favorite alpha. This, of course, is Deadlock, and the Abrahams have been dominant recently. Do they keep it rolling? It's going to be buff enjoyers with the first ban. You don't get rid of Kelvin. Do you get rid of the Shiv to make sure Together doesn't bring it out here, Jake?
I wouldn't be mad at it. The Together Shiv is so terrifying, man. Like this guy is so insane on the character. But instead they're going to take out the Holiday. They dealt with it last game, but this time they're going to prio it early. I'm interested to see if Buffingers, if they get the chance, will they even take the Kelvin? Based on how the last game went and the way they kind of dismantled the Kelvin with the Sinclair Doorman, I'm like wondering, like for me, after watching it, I was like, oh my God, like this is the answer to Kelvin. But maybe that's oversimplifying it, and maybe the character still super effective. Doorman ban makes Kelvin look even better to me, though.
Yeah, that's super interesting. Yeah, because also we saw that the Doorman's combo with Sinclair did provide a lot of the utility to really make that approach work against the Kelvin. So this does make it a little bit spicy, but you cannot allow Shiv to go, I feel like, to Abraham. So this has to be a must pick Shiv.
Or you gotta pick the Shiv, or oh my God, they don't take. They're gonna give Shiv Kelvin.
That's crazy, man.
What? No.
Did they find out how to counter the bubble? You just needed Fireboy?
Maybe Sinclair can do it, but like, bro, the lane alone, Together Shiv and a Kelvin. I mean,
same, yeah.
I guess you get to take like Sinclair Pocket in response, but I almost don't care. I don't think. I mean, what's the win rate on Shiv Kelvin? No one plays this lane anymore because no one is allowed to ever get it.
This is quite wild. But okay, so the pro for buff enjoyers is they at least secure Infernus for Zergy. Because I do think that Zergy's hero pool is like the best part of his hero pool right now. So again, I think he's got the weakest hero pool in terms of like the current meta where it's at. Maybe I'm mistaken, but that's my reading it. So I think you're right though, Jake. I think the Pocket Sinclair, it has to be it. It has to be the comeback here. They don't get the Doorman as an option.
They have some really good tools. If they get Pocket here, it's like they have both Infernus and Pocket, which are very good against the Shiv's Bloodletting passive. But it's Shiv-Kelvin. I mean, it's like, okay, Paradox now. This is interesting. This pick is super important to me. It's like, I feel like this is going to be Pocket or Sinclair. But I almost prefer
just played
Pocket.
Paradox? You saw Zergy just play Infernus. So who is the third most important character on your team?
The question is one that I actually don't have the answer to, which is how good is Cosmetical's hero pool? Okay, so they clearly think they don't need the Pocket for Cosmetical to still be super effective, which, all right, let's be honest. If you're that good at Pocket at this point in the game, you have other heroes in the pool. Like, there's no question you could pilot something a little bit more straightforward if you can handle Pocket. We saw that from a player like Ido in the past, where like everyone's saying he's Pocket one trick, and then 2 weeks later he plays like 10 other heroes because they're a lot easier than Pocket, it turns out.
Okay, they can ban Pocket right now and get that out of the picture. Bebop is also an interesting one as well, that I think Abrahams is going to want the Bebop. Obviously, they can't get Holiday or Paradox, so Bebop is kind of, I think, a high priority for Abrahams potentially. So that might be something Buff Enjoyers might want to ban when it gets to them. Okay, there it is. There's that Pocket, so they're not getting Pocket. So Cosmetical better have some other good stuff in the tank here. Oh, Yamato Shiv-Kelvin is nasty, man.
That's so deadly. This is so deadly.
Right?
GT actually could look kind of okay here. Although the weird thing is, like, the Abrahams draft, I think it would be Abrahams who picks GT if anyone picks it, because Buff Enjoyers, like, I think GT actually looks better when you have other frontliners making a lot of space for you. If you don't have so much mobility on GT where someone jumps on top of you, you could, like, Shiv gets on top of you, starts putting knives in you, you're in real trouble on Great Town. Like, I don't know how you're playing your way out of that one. So I think if Abrahams plays GT, though, it would make more sense to me as, like, who's really going to ever try to get through your front line given the draft you have so far. They go with the Mina for now, making the GT for me a little bit less likely, since I think there's a little bit of role overlap there. Not impossible.
I want to welcome in Clocks9, who is a streamer on Twitch.tv, with their first comment: "Fuck ass heroes." Don't know what it means. Don't know where the anger is going. Don't know who he's describing, but that's some great input from one of our Deadlock.
It is.
Sorry,
it's
Jake.
a good question. Someone asked in chat, what makes Shiv-Kelvin so strong? It's actually a good question, because Shiv-Kelvin has been considered like the strongest lane in Deadlock for a while, but we haven't talked about often why. I think a lot of the reason is that Kelvin, the heals are very good for Shiv, and Shiv's probably one of the best users in the game of heals, given that you have this passive that also mitigates damage. Heals are like extra effective on Shiv. He's extra hard to nuke down. Further, you also have great slows on Kelvin, which make it very easy for Shiv to land both knives and his dashes. And Shiv is honestly one of the highest damage laners in the game, theoretically, if you hit every knife and every dash, which normally you won't against, like, high mobility characters. But if Kelvin is just locking people down, slowing them down for you, it is so hard to escape Shiv just hitting every single skill on you and staying in rage. So there's so many layers of threat there, and then even into the late game, the heroes combo really nicely together. So that's why this combo is considered so unbeatable. But Buff Enjoyers, they know about it, right? This is a top team. They gave this away intentionally, and they think they can just handle it with their gameplay. And we're about to see if that's true or not.
Vindicta Sinclair Paradox. Can you not just create enough space between you and Shiv to survive this DDK? What's the plan for Buff Enjoyers?
Well, I think, part of what Jake is saying that is really tricky is that Kelvin's so good at helping to close the distance on these heroes because of the Ice Beam. And then if you add into that, like Flying Strike from Yamato, the excessive mobility from Mina, there's a lot of ways to, like, close down distance. So yeah, there's a lot of really good options here for Abrahams, because not only do they have a nasty front line, good support, they've got, like, a very nice damage output that, Mina can deal, as well as Bebop for pick as well. And Hayes can also obviously sleep the combo. He can create a lot of issues for the Morincrill Paradox setups, I feel like, in Furnace as well. Vindicta, like, sleep daggering them so that their mobility is weakened a lot. So Abrahams have an absolute banger draft, I feel like. I'm skeptical here, Jake.
Set up for success here.
I think this draft is super sick. I do think the Buff Enjoyers, like, this is the way for me the meta has been leaning, is towards some of these, like, really high mobility drafts. Abraham's draft is one that I think we've sort of seen this style many times before. And it's is not bad. It's straightforward and it's very good. It's like you have a really powerful front line, and then you have Mina for mobility to finish off kills, Bebop and Haze to lock people down so that, you know, those heavy frontliners can get on top of them in the first place. And those pieces fit together very nicely, and it's a really challenging draft to beat. I think for Buffenjars to win this game, they need to not only come out of the lane strong, but kind of stay ahead and keep playing that tempo game. And against, I mean, I feel like Shiv-Kelvin lane, if they win the Shiv-Kelvin lane, a win against it rather, I'll be completely blown away, and I think maybe this game looks a lot more winnable. But honestly, I think Abraham's got everything they wanted this draft, and I think Buffenjoyers, it doesn't look as good for me. I think if they had the pocket, I would have felt a little bit better about their chances. But this idea of like playing super mobile and still just having crazy damage, there's not really a replacement for Pocket in that style. Like Ivy, I guess, but Ivy is a lot more catchable than Pocket. You know, same for Vindicta, right? Pocket is kind of that one hero who can get in, you know, start the team fight on a big AoE without actually being in bad position where, you know, it's going to turn into a problem for him. Like, he's happy to kind of initiate that way. And I'm wondering how the fights are going to go.
Will it work out? It's time to get into Abrahams versus Buffenjoyers. We are at an all-time high on tonight's broadcast, so if you are just joining us, do us a favor, hit the follow button, hit the subscribe if you're over on YouTube, and of course, feel free to become a member or a subscriber. Right now over on Twitch, it's 35% off for 8 more hours. That's 5 or more gifted. On the mic, it's DDK, it's Jake, it's Deadlock.
Thank you, Pocket.
Here we go. So I have a question for you, Jake.
Go ahead.
We keep talking over each other. I think in the first draft, we actually had Ivy get first banned by Fearless Furies, if I'm not mistaken. So is there something that Fearless Furies know about Buffenjoyers and Ivy? Because Ivy didn't get picked until the 12th pick by Buffenjoyers. So Obakim's on it. So I was wondering if it was like a cosmetical hero, but cosmetical's actually going to be on the Vindicta instead. So
yeah, that'll be interesting to see. I think Vin is also, you know, a hero that you definitely want an expert player on. You know, with some of those longer skills, like especially the tether can be a little bit tricky to hit on high mobility targets. Mid lane, I think is going to be especially important. Taz taking a lot of pressure from Listic on that off angle. Yamato Bebop, definitely a lane that I think relies pretty heavily on hitting some hooks. As you can see, the poke pressure onto Bebop, he's not the best at dealing with this. He has a very big hitbox, and sees Taz is just ignoring the heroes and just trying to clear creeps as quickly as possible. Monster rounds are going to further that objective.
So definitely going to be very important to get the early laning right here for Buffenjoyers. The Kelvin Shiv lane. You know, what is there a world where Obakim and Cosmetical manage to survive that lane? Like, is it like, what's the best case for them?
I mean, I think in theory, if you just like spam clear waves on Ivy, it could be kind of hard for Shiv-Kelvin to like really put the pressure on you. But I don't know. I mean, let's take a look at that lane, because Cosmetical already down to half HP and Shiv-Kelvin are absolutely topped up full. So it's looking like a little bit of a scary start in that Shiv-Kelvin side lane, although we're still got a lot of Deadlock to play. Just 8k here.
Yeah, if they can, it needs, I think, that bridge control, right, so that the Ivy can kind of get the Kutsu bomb on those creeps as they drop from the rope. I think is kind of the gist. Ooh, big fight in mid though. That's a really good kill to find though onto ABL. So maybe there's a following kill to have as well, because Bebop's super low. You've got Taz trying to get away. He will be able to survive for now, but this is good. This is really a great start here in this mid lane for Listic and his laning partner in Hoots. I mean, that is a nasty mid lane. The Sinclair and Paradox is quite damaging.
Very scary for Yamato. I mean, especially Bebop. I mean, you can't help but be poked in this lane, and they're going to get a double reset here early in the mid lane. Unless Paradox maybe just greeting some boxes out, but it's using some of the value you can get on the mid lane, being able to reset your HP between wave clears. So you can see Shiv has rushed that cold front and not needing to buy a regen item for together in the early game, like to be able to build this way with Kelvin behind him. I'm already scared, man. This is a lane where I think we're going to see a lot of action, and even if it just comes down to like a couple creeps early, the trades are almost always going to favor the Shiv-Kelvin, and you get that ultimate online first. Shiv's just going to hard dive, and I don't know what you're going to do about that on Vindicta. Like, Ivy in theory can dodge the ult with stone form, but realistically it's too easy to bait that out and too hard to just hold on to it as Ivy.
Yeah, and those knives are connecting. The serrated knives are extremely damaging. Really hard to deal with. Okay, so we got Airborne Vindicta. Again, a pretty easy target for the knives, I gotta say. So you gotta be very careful about that. See, he just gets caught there. Trying to actually dodge it, I think, with the billboard, but not able to do so.
It's tricky, and I like that he's going for a heal bane pretty early. You just really need this item against Kelvin. I wonder if it's not, you know, too little too late in this lane. He's going to have that online. Oh, the Rabbit Hex comes in good, but still the Power Slash goes off. So
like what?
Power Slash by a bunny. I think that is how it works. It doesn't stop you from channeling, right? And you're already channeling Power Slash. So just a bunny with a giant sword is pretty much the lore description of that.
So, I mean, to be honest, like, this feels a lot more even than the first game. Buff and Joy has kind of rolled those early lanes. So that does give me some hope here that, you know, things will be cool, because despite the fact that when we see Kelvin Shiv, they are really pushed on that left side lane a lot. They don't have much, they don't have almost any tower damage. So this is really, really well played so far by Buff Enjoyers.
Yeah, ultimate's starting to come online in those side lanes, though. We'll see if that lasts. As buffs are coming up here, a couple seconds left. Can you get that Rabbit Hex off early enough? No, the buff is good, and grabbed by the Yamato. That's a nice find. Life buff in mid is going to really staunch some of the losses there for ABL, who's going to be able to be a lot more enduring in terms of the poke pressure coming in, as the tower pressure itself has started to look pretty good on that mid lane.
I see a furnace.
Goodbye, Sharik. Main Crawl down for Buff Enjoyers. As we all get back onto the lanes.
And, oh my goodness gracious.
Oh, man.
And they used Stormform. Okay, he's not going to die more than that. All right, this guy, man. Put some respect on the together show. I am like this guy. It's not just the early game. The laning phase is nice, but we have seen together just run games on Shiv, like completely out of control domination. And this is that start that could potentially lead you there. Another dash connection on the Ivy, and the tower pressure starting to come in.
Oh, inside the Kudzu bomb, but he's got, that's the Kelvin dome on top of it. So this is why it's so dangerous in lane, because you're stuck in the dome and you can't do anything to get away. And that's going to be Sane taking down Overkim. And this tower is going to go down as well at this rate. Big damage, big damage onto the tower. Almost like 70% damage in just one go off of the ults.
It's great value on the dome, because Saint might have to back and heal. He might just try and stay in lane and heal himself up since he's Kelvin, but ultimately Shiv is still full HP, full pressure here. Vindicta doing what she can to clear wave, but is forced to rapid clear this. Ivy just now getting back, and so I mean, once Kelvin resets, though, that's when things are going to start to get scary in the side lane. Kelvin took the heal. It's going to be coming back in. Together's going to get maybe a wave of solo souls here, so just continuing to grow this advantage here for Abrahams.
Looking on the other side of things here, you know, Zergi's going to be one of these players that needs to have a really good game. We do actually have Taz coming across into this left side lane, actually, looking to help take down this tower.
Shiv looking to get active. Yeah, Taz, the bomb comes in and just pops that Guardian. And I mean, this side lane is getting scary now. You've lost the Guardian. Are you going to bring more as a response? Buff and Yours, the way they react to this could be crucial in this match. Ultimate from Mina, trying to punish who? Listic, though, is able to burst down that Guardian, and I think it's going to cost him his life. This TP is not in a good spot for him. So he has to just run away with the movement, but it is just clean enough. All right, movement from Listic, and mid Guardian traded back. Buffalo Jar is equalizing there in the mid lane. Meanwhile, though, Abraham's, the lead has grown. I mean, 4K soul lead pretty early in the game. A lot of that is on the Shiv, which is exactly where you'd want it to be for Abrahams.
Yeah, maintaining that pressure, and they can start to be really aggressive, taking away enemy creep camps and so on, but they're actually continuing to pressure the Vindicta here, looking to isolate kills. In the meantime, we've got 3 players against 3 on the
Trophy
right
collector,
side lane.
Bebop? Uh-oh. Trophy Collector Bebop is kind of crazy, but also, I mean, hey, you play around this Shiv, he is going to be absolutely pumping kills. Now ABL is going to get a bit of a solo side lane here with the Guardian. He's going to get all the farm in the world that he's looking for to recover into the game.
Yeah, these Sinners that just came up at that 8-minute mark as well, so getting some skirmishing around them. Oh, just how does that even work? He's underground.
Still burrowed, and with the shielding, he's pretty tanky, and Furnace is into this fight. Zergi wants to get active now. Concussive combustion. I don't think it hit anything there. It's backing off the ultimate together, continuing to feast in that side lane.
And there's a combo. Looks like they're going to regret that one because it's all going to get converted by Abrahams in the end. Really nice timing into the fight from Demov. Okay, you got Hoot coming in from the side on the Paradox. They're dodging the hook here, trying to stop them from taking down this tower, doing everything he can. The time bomb has got the bullet darts coming on through as well. Oh no, that's so unfortunate. Couldn't get the time wall just in front of that bullet dance.
Yeah, and Mo's here, but I don't think he's getting this kill, man. Hayes, cheeky movement to slip back under the tower. You're going so deep on Infernus, trying to secure that burn. Now Mo continuing to dive for it, has one more scorn proc. Is he going to get the melee connection here? Demov, super low HP, gets burned again by Infernus, but have you overextended? Here's Yamato, ABL, connecting in, diving on top of Zergi, who's trying to get out of this. Remember, this is your carry Infernus. He needs to get the farm, but instead, he's only going to give up that trophy collector stack to Taz. A hook deep under the Guardian again. Could be another one. The parry on the ABL, though, could keep this Mo alive. He's deceptively tanky, but Guardian is doing all of the work there. More stacks to Taz, who is not a player you want to let snowball, even on the Bebop.
Yeah, we're getting a 9k difference now, so the chase down with the Nox Nostra. Oh my god, cosmetical barely survives with a slither of health. And man, this is starting to look really bad now for buff enjoyers. It felt like they were holding on for quite some time, but now the skirmishing continues. It's just all Abrahams here. Another good kill onto Hoot, and they are 13k ahead at the 10-minute mark.
Yeah, this is not what you want. And that's a max power slash out of ABL. If you get hit with the max power slash, you are in very serious trouble. Like, this could nuke 2/3 of your health bar off with the game that Abrahams are having. Meanwhile, together, 10k souls. Sonya at 11. You're not even the biggest threat on a snowballing Shiv-Kelvin lane. I don't even know how that's possible. Demov, meanwhile, is like the one guy who has made this Haze roam look sick. Like, he's had, I think, the best Haze roam games of anyone. It is going to be a favorable earn drop, which is a very nice find for the buff enjoyers, one that starting to mitigate some of that soul deficit.
And right now, Abrahams are forcing some respect. 3 players pushing into the Walker, and at the same time, 3 players on the right side of the map pushing into the Walker there. So massive map control for Abrahams. Maybe as we see the pick attempts here from Abrahams, there's a pick opportunity for buff enjoyers. It's gonna be kind of hard because they're just playing reactively at the moment, picking up that mid farm at the same time. And now we'll get buff Abrahams spreading back out onto the map, looking to farm a bit themselves. It's quite a lot of farm up on the map at the moment, and we're quite far away too from those next bridge buffs. So might get a moment of calm here for the next couple of minutes. But with that said, harass here, just forcing ABL to get away from that Sinners and forces the ult as well. But in comes that roaming Haze you were talking about, and this is potentially backfiring pretty enormously. And the stick is
Haze
getting
ult
to safety though.
Canceled it a little bit slow to hold on to that Haze ult. So didn't end up wasting it for D-Mob, but in the end, not a resource you're really worried about on the roaming Haze. ABL did have to pop the shadow transformation as well. But I mean, look at this. Every jungle camp being contested, and here's together, starting to get active on that Shiv. He wants to start snowballing some of these executes. And you can see buff enjoyers very respectful, have to just back out of this area of the jungle, trying to retake it as they can. But I mean, Abraham's just not letting them get anything on the map for free.
I gotta say, a lot of respect to Listic on this Sinclair. He's doing a lot with harass, using the ability to like teleport away from opponents after just going in, trying to hex and just create lots of disruption, forcing out ults, surviving because he can TP away. So it's really good harass, like massive value there from Listic so far.
Mo, thinking about getting active, does have combo if he wants to go for it here. Now onto the Kelvin. They're trying to burst down some of these players before Kelvin get the dome off, but it's not going to happen. The support is here. You got baited into Saint, and now it turns into a major team fight. Sharik very low, dropping to together. Ultimate not max for together, so he's down that execute, but he doesn't seem to need it here. Hunting down Hoot, who's almost certainly just dead to rights, bleeding down. Listic now.
There's a chase down. Again, just finding all these kills at the moment. Buff Enjoy is getting routed. They just can't seem to do the damage to get any of these kills, and then the numbers just start to stack up against them, trying to escape with a TP. Good teleport coming on through. Okay, Overkim is going to survive, but not for very much longer. I mean, you can't survive against together. He's got 14k now.
How long has ABL been here? He's been sitting in that door left clicking for like 30 seconds to have the Walker dead. maybe biting off more than they can chew, though. Zergy punishes with a concussive combustion onto Taz, shutting down the Bebop for the moment. ABL, I'm not sure you do want to chase down that Yamato in the sewers with Shadow Transform. Meanwhile, Sonya, 17k. What the hell has Sonya been doing? What are they feeding this guy? He's huge.
It's almost a 20k difference now as well. Like it's a 16k difference for now, but it's like, this is crazy for like 14 minutes in the game. It's absolutely wild. They just Buff and Joyce just can't kill anyone on Abrahams. They're just too tanky. The Kelvin diff is pretty enormous, and also together.
Oh,
and like you say,
get this.
Sonya's able to just feed in the background.
He greeds and doesn't pop his ult. Okay, does have to pop it now. Shariq's there with the combo. As soon as this Shadow Transform ends, Yamato could find himself in real trouble. Tries to slip away for now. See if the chase down is there. You're chasing into D-Mob, though. Hayes is going to start to build up those fixation stacks. Here's the ultimate copied Shadow Transform from Sinclair. Sleep under the Bebop, and here's that laser down the alleyway, getting deceptively massive damage. Sonya is in over the top as well. Full retreat from Buff and Joyce, trying to get out of this one, get back to the base, and beat a quick defense. But, man, it's been a while since Buff and Joyce have had any kind of a fight.
It says it all when you've got ABL, who's able to not just free farm, but also just free take down walkers. And at the same time, Sonya is free farming because you got this core of like together, or like the Kelvin, the Shiv, the Bebop,
Shiv with life
and the
buff.
Haze. That Haze is roaming around.
Shiv with life buff and Torment. This is terrifying. I mean, he's so tanky. Look at that build. Here's the setup here. Silence X as well, following up onto Listic. They're trying to chase him down. Bullet Dance doing massive damage. TP is okay, but is it going to really get you out of dodge? Listic's incredibly low. More players from Abraham starting to coalesce into this fight. Could be a turnaround, though. The Buff and Joyers also bringing the numbers. Maybe they want to get a little piece of this. Zergy incredibly low, though. ABL on top of him with that Torment Pulse. And the front line starting to feel just oppressive from Abraham's.
Yeah, really wanting this comeback on, but it gets dropped again as Abrahams contest it, looking to stop that. And once again, having to retreat. Buff and Joyce, they have to retreat. They're getting absolutely owned in this fight.
The power slash just took his health bar away. Veilwalker for Shiv as he just runs through the enemy side of the map, fearlessly going straight for this earn turn. And Ivy Obicam getting a pretty decent split push here as Capacitor online is going to burn down that Walker and get something. And okay, they take the earn away, but hold on. Do you actually have the follow-up for that? Here's the concussive combustion. Can you kill the Shiv? Big question mark for Zergy. This could be a game-changing fight if you're able to get the win, but for now, the only blood that's been spilled is from the Buff Enjoyers. ABL, Shadow Transform, fearlessly capping that earn. And this is just all Abraham's, man. Maybe right to the mid-boss here. Could be nearing the end of this game as the lead has only ballooned, almost a 30k soul lead.
Yeah, it's too much. It seems like it's way too much at this point. This game has felt like 4 players from Abraham's at all times can occupy the attention of 6 from Buff and Joyous. And that's kind of like that's what Deadlock is so much about, is about kind of balancing these numbers. And the fact that they were able to do that when it was like a 5 to 10k difference kind of just shows you, I think, the strength difference in and not just the draft. Obviously, like we said, you know, together on Shiv, okay, that's a problem. ABL on Yamato, okay, that's also his signature hero. You know, like
that's been the go-to, right?
Signature hero. Taz on Bebop, also pretty much a signature for him too. So you've got like problems in this draft.
I gotta say, I am very impressed with Abrahams that they haven't forced the mid-boss yet. They're just continuing to play these fights where they know they're strong, they know they can keep winning. Here's Shiv from behind, has that life buff, so super tanky on this Shiv for a few more seconds. Stolen Frozen Shelter, but Listic, you don't have the HP to outlast this, man. And that execute's coming back in 20 seconds. Together, would love to continue this fight. Response is here, but I'm not sure able to win it. Zergy, meanwhile, on the other side of the map is incredibly low. Looks to be going down as well. Big swap under tower, and that's overextension for the Mina. Sonya pulled deep. That's a very farmed hero shut down. Big pick off by Hoot. But do you have the follow-up? It doesn't seem like enough. Here comes that Kelvin Dome. Full HP frontline, just absolutely running through the Buff Enjoyers.
Oh, the damage output is so crazy. Somehow Cosmetical actually gets the escape there, but this Walker is getting completely focused and destroyed. So in the end, Abrahams get what they want. Only for the loss of Sonya Sniper, they get a Walker and 2 kills. So still a huge win there as they are trying to extend their lead. In terms of soul differential, it's still kind of resting at that 30k difference, but I mean, what on earth do you do right now? They're going for the mid boss. They're going to get these rejuves. There's nothing online to stop them, really.
Yeah, I feel like you have to contest this, though. I mean, it's probably the end of the game here, but if you give rejuves to this Shiv and Yamato, I just feel like it's over. D-Mob going to commit that bullet dance to drop it yet faster, so very little time for Buffingers to get this set up and see if ABL goes for the Shadow Transform. Yes, he does. Is there going to be the parries here on that rejuve? This is crucial. This is for the game. The Concussive Combustion is huge. Hits on a ton of players, but Buffingers are dropping like flies. 2 crystals to Abrahams, and ABL again with the disgusting parries, securing all 3 crystals. Abrahams, I think they've just won game 1.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. A full team wipe, as you say. Buff and Joyce had to go for it. There's not really any option but to go for it. So all the lanes already pushed, all the walkers already gone.
I'm not gonna lie, the most painful thing about this is, like, what do you learn for buff enjoyers from this draft? Don't give Shiv-Kelvin, but
pretty much.
If you needed this match to learn it, you're in trouble. And speaking of trouble, Listic, okay, they're so lucky it's the one guy who can just hard teleport back to base. That was such a sick hook from Taz. But the party's not over, man. Abraham's going to continue this tempo, and Vin pulled super deep. That is not who you want to be deep here in the front line. Together has already taken 1 skull, 10 streak for the Shiv here on Abraham. Shrines starting to take that pressure.
And I think the thing about the draft too is that if they would have done what they did in game 1, Jake, where they disband Shiv, then I love the Sinclair plan. You know, I love the potential for them to counterplay. But I think they what did they ban? They banned Holiday, right?
Yeah, which I'm not even sure that Abrahams would have picked. I mean, how good Holiday is right now, I think it is relevant, but I totally agree. I think the Shiv ban would have been way more impactful. Together just destroyed you this game, right? From the lane now to here comes the end of the game. Sanya's back, by the way, on low HP, but you've got 2 Regent Crystals, you've got the Kelvin Dome. This is just going to be a full send for the win. Dome to just secure the HP now, turning on kills. No longer can obviously hit the patron, but you don't need it. Here comes overwhelming damage, together on a 12 streak, just absolutely having his way with this backline here, and even a little bit of fountain fighting maybe. No, Abraham's going to give at least the respect to close the game out here.
They're looking for the patron now. Everyone diving into the pit. And this is going to be it. An unceremonious finish for Buff Enjoyers as they fall in game 1 to Abrahams with a ridiculously strong draft.
That was boring, guys.
Sick.
I wanted a good one. What happened, Jake?
Why would they give him Shiv-Kelvin? Why would they give him Shiv-Kelvin? I was like...
You told me this was the match that everyone should be excited for. I was excited for it. Chat said this was over 5 minutes in. They saw it coming.
This is a painful L. I just think... I think not getting the pocket really hurt the play style that Buff Enjoyers wanted to play. I think giving up Shiv-Kelvin was just way too much. I mean, did Together die this game? Genuinely? I think this was a flaw of this game from Together.
I can't wait to see. Yeah, Together stats are going to be through the roof. Also, people complaining about Bebop. Bebop's too cheap. It felt like no matter what they were doing, there's something to complain about. If you're a Buff Enjoyer fan, on the other side, Abrahams, you're cheering for what? A 14 kill spree from your Shiv. You had Yamato for ABL popping off on a 12 kill spree of their own. Here's a look at some of the highlights. DDK, could you pick an MVP? Like, who had the biggest pop off here in game 1 of the best of 3?
Oh man, I mean, I feel like you just have to pick Together because he gets the Shiv. He is the star player. He's gonna wreck everyone, drive the game home. He drives all the action. He drives all the kills. You know, he's in all of these fights. Yeah, his team supports around him, but he's always the star of the show when he gets this hero. So, I mean, I agree with Jake. You can't allow him to have this. You just can't. It's too much.
He's too clean on it, man. You give him the perfect setup, a great start to the lane, snowballs the game from there. And it's not like the other lanes are that much better, right? Like, they're all looking pretty strong. I feel like ABL and Taz, while they were under a lot of pressure, they stabilized the mid lane really nicely from what should have been super scary, right? Against Sinclair and Paradox. That's one of the heavier poke lanes in the game, and just speaks to ABL and Taz experience that they can weather that early game storm.
I was going to ask, how did the Sinclair perform? Because some people on YouTube are saying Sinclair is not it. Listic's one of the better players we've seen, especially one of the top Europeans.
I mean, from my perspective, Sinclair was making a lot of plays this game. By the way, the parries here. This is like 10 parries. I mean, to be fair, that is really the game, but ABL has been so rock solid on this Yamato, just getting so many parries on the rejuve. Such a problem for any kind of opposition.
Bummer, DDK. That one's over 20. But the good news is we got more, right?
Yeah, there's one more, maybe. One more, maybe. Maybe
Just
two?
one, he says.
I feel
Maybe
like we
two?
didn't get the proper showing out of Buffajars there. I mean, as I want. It's fair to criticize him for it. You gave up Shiv-Kelvin, and look what happened. You know, it shouldn't be that much of a surprise. I think beating the Kelvin I could believe, but the combo is too much, especially with players like Together on the other side and Saint on the Kelvin line. You're just giving way too much comfort to Abrahams and making the game so difficult for yourselves. You have to hit all these crazy plays to make it work.
Chad, if we get 80 more gifted, we'll let Metro pick the teams. We got to go to a break. When we come back, it's more European Night Shift. Lock in for Deadlock. It's a heater of a night in Europe so far as everybody has been smoking the competition. I'm getting lit, DDK. We got Jake ready to rock. Let's talk a little bit about what we got here in the game number 2. The spicy, fiery boy in Furnace was supposed to counter out the ice boy and his buddy with the big blades, and instead they got their ass beat. In Furnace, your go-to, if your buff enjoyers going into game 2, what are you protecting this time around?
I just think you got to ban Shiv, man. Just don't let Together play Shiv. I don't. If there's a Kelvin in the mix, it's like DEFCON 1, get into the nuclear
don't let
bunker.
Goober play Viscous. Don't let
just
Together play
There's
Shiv.
just rules in competitive
this
Deadlock.
game.
You don't give Together
Yeah.
Shiv. This guy's just the best in the business, and you really double don't give him it with the Kelvin lane as well.
With the Kelvin. Okay. Kelvin doesn't seem to be that good anymore, but the Kelvin Shiv combo is what is devastating. DDK, is there another combo that could be equally devastating? If you're trying to cancel out the Shiv Kelvin duo, what does that leave on the table?
You mean if they both get banned, you mean?
Yeah. Sorry. If you get rid of the Shiv Kelvin.
Let me think. I don't know if there's anything that's
Nothing's that
comparable
scary,
to that.
right? Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of good synergies and combos, but everything else is kind of reasonable and there's lots of ways to work around. This is the only thing that's mega oppressive that always works the same way. Is there anything else, Jake, that's like this?
I mean, the thing about those two characters in particular is Shiv and Kelvin are separately maybe the top 2 heroes in the game, or at least in the top 5, right? And so the fact that they have crazy synergy and they're 2 of the best characters in the game is it's just too much. I also think, right, the Sinclair looked good against the Kelvin as a response, but it was only, for me, half of the answer. I think the Doorman was another really significant element, and Abraham's banned the Doorman, right? So it's almost like a protection for their Kelvin. They're you can copy the Dome, but you're going to have trouble getting it to where you want it to be and playing the map the way a Doorman can. So the fact that they got Doorman and Pocket off with the bans, I don't think the Buff Ninja strat works without those heroes. I think you might need both of them. Maybe with one of the 2, it's good enough to play this mobility style against the frontliner, but I want to see a lot higher prio for especially Pocket this game. I feel like a cosmetical Pocket could have been maybe part of
Can
the
we
answer
pause
here.
real quick? All right. Mo for Shurik, 1 kill. Listic, 2 kills. That's a total of 3. Cosmetical, 1 kill. That's a total of 4. Zergy, 1 kill. That's a total of 5. Together, 14 kills, 0 deaths.
Okay, bro is 14-0 and 11. Top damage. I mean, it's just brutal. This is we got to get this off the airwaves, man. I mean, this stat line is disgusting. I also want to call out D-Mob, man. 17 assists, super high kill participation from this mobile haze. This is the game where the mobile haze now looks crazy, right? Because you have these super high damage tanky frontliners who are being set up time and again by D-Mobs with the sleeves. Very, very effective in this game, and much more so than we saw in that previous match where the pick haze came into play. I think this is one of those heroes that it is really feast or famine, but we see how good it can be on the upside of that for Abraham's that last game.
It's pretty damn good. I hope we get a better draft. That's all I want to see. So let's kick things off here.
If Shiv's gonna get banned, I'm feeling it. It's just it whether that or Buffajars first pick it, or first pick from Buffajars, which would also for me be totally fine.
We had Block in chat who said, "Can we just make this a best of 1 and fast forward to NA?" It's not that bad. Listen, Draft can set things up to make it look way more one-sided. This is a juggernaut showdown that we've seen in the past 14 times.
All right, most of the problem is now gone.
Should be dead.
I mean, I honestly wonder if you literally run it back almost the same draft now with just this change. I think Buffajars actually have a drastically more competitive game. I really think it's that big of a deal. Even if you give up the Kelvin here, not getting if the Doorman gets banned here in response. Okay, interesting. It's actually Abrahams who banned. I think that's a bad ban from Abrahams. I don't think Buffajars were going to pick the Kelvin here, frankly.
I agree. I agree with that. Okay, but let's see though if the priority goes the same way, because Buff and Joy's prioritized Zergy with the Infernus last time first, and it makes sense. You know, Infernus is pretty high pro, but like there's so many problems on Abraham's. Okay, so yeah, looks like you're right, Jake. They're gonna probably run it back.
I mean, with these bans, I feel a lot better about running it back, because what are the picks now from Abraham's? Maybe you secure the ABL Yamato.
Paradox,
I think that'd be powerful.
Yamato.
You're right. Maybe the Paradox. I do think, as good as Taz was on the Bebop, I think Paradox tends to be a little bit stronger from the laning phase to the late game. You feel like you have a little more carry potential and more utility. So yeah, Abraham's are going to grab it early. And remember, Taz is another one of the best players in the world on these pick initiators, and I think he can carry a little bit harder on the Paradox than he can on the Bebop.
Okay, Paradox is online. Now, I'm curious if Holiday makes an appearance here, because I know, Jake, you weren't convinced that Abraham's are even going to prioritize it that heavily. Obviously, it's still really, really good. But Abraham's, like, you know, when you have ABL who can play Yamato, Yamato's available, Yamato is his high priority. There we go. So that was what we predicted. Paradox and Yamato. What's the response?
Why is Yamato the go-to for ABL? Why does that play to his play style or his strengths as a player?
I think he's a really strong laner, but the biggest reason for me is around the mid boss. I mean, Abraham's is a team that loves forcing the mid boss, and we saw it there with the Regives. ABL is just so sick. When you pop Shadow Transform, you can't get stunned or controlled in any way. You're fully immune to those control skills, and so you can just sit there and parry on the mid boss. And if you miss a parry, they can still get the crystals. But if you're perfect on the parries, theoretically, there's no counter to that. The only thing you could do is just wait out the whole Shadow Transform, but it lasts like 9 seconds or something crazy. So very unlikely you can really do that. And it means that contested mid bosses typically just favor the Yamato team. Like if you have that Shadow Transform up, it's probably the best tool in the game at the top level of play for securing those Rejuve crystals, which tends to be a game-winning play. So I mean, there's a good reason to pick this hero. On top of that, also has crazy just snowball carry potential. Buffingers this time, they get the Doorman and the Mo, but Abraham's pick up that Holiday, so you're gonna have to answer it now for the Buff Enjoyers. I like Mo against Holiday though.
But one issue is that, you know, I think they've conceded pocket again. I think Abraham's just going to ban it here.
Yeah.
Which is what this is the ban that they had previously was a pocket ban. I mean, what else would you care to ban?
Cosmetical is too crazy on the pocket. I just feel like you should just ban it. It's like a respect ban. But they don't. Okay. Actually, who gets first pick coming out of this phase? I think it might be Abraham's.
It's gonna be Abraham's, I think, right?
So Abraham's, if I were them, I would take the pocket. I would like after what Cosmetical did in our opening game. I just don't give him pocket. I feel like that's crazy to do.
The question always is to me, like, what is Hoot going to play? Because Hoot can play amazing pocket and amazing Holiday. He basically can play amazing on basically everything. So, because I'm thinking who plays the pocket.
He's been playing Paradox all day, so let's see. I mean, this could be something different
TDK,
today, right?
Did you read the Hoot message? I think that we let chat get to Hoot a little bit. He says, I'm glad they do EU first. It's like having a tiny little baby shitty appetizer before the big NA T-bone steak comes out. I'm sensing some sarcasm from one of our top dogs, but do you think that takes us to a game 3? Or is my man tilted?
We'll have to see, man. I don't think he sells it. Look, Buffingers has made many a comeback before, so I think people saying it's over greatly overstating the situation. This is a team with the mental fortitude. Like, look, realistically, I think they can just say, hey, look, bad draft last game. And okay, no pocket. So neither team, maybe we're overrating how important this is to Cosmetical, but I guess Buffingers could still grab it here with this next pick if they do want it. I mean, it's not a great pocket game so far. Like, you don't have a really heavy frontline draft from Abraham's. I just think I almost don't care what the draft is after watching Cosmetical play game 1. Yeah. I'm like, just give me another one of those, please. Like,
Bebop's in.
I like it. It makes sense. You kind of have to take the Bebop unless you just want no pick when the Paradox and Holiday's gone. So it kind of makes sense.
Yeah. And Vin too. So like the tempo for Abraham's is going to be really high this game. I feel like this is a draft that you want to just snowball, blow the game out, and let like Yamato and Holiday just finish it off now. Abraham's, I suspect that these next picks are going to be part of that tempo snowball. Sinclair very much in that mold of a very dominant laner with some team fight scaling, but a hero who also wants to tempo and win early.
I'm trying to think like what Buff enjoys one last here now. They've got the good front line. They got good pick in both Mo and Bebop. Got like good setup in Doorman as well as Mo. They got the late game carry for Infernus. Infernus is pretty active.
Yeah, they're trolling us. We're going to a game 3, fam. Let's go.
All right. Hear me out.
Drifter at a 0% win rate.
Low key, low key, if you were going to play Drifter, this is like the Drifter game, right? Because you have the crazy mobility tempo characters. If Drifter can like get active in the early game, it's almost like a weird, like a much greedier version of the tempo haze, where you're like showing up to these like early ganks and roaming and trying to find pickoffs early. If Buffingers are significant on the back foot, they could be in trouble, but Drifter just hasn't looked good at the top level, realistically, right? Like it hasn't. You need to kind of win before the Divine Barrier start coming out, and just like turn your ultimate off, and that really is the biggest value Drifter tends to offer at this level, is how good the ultimate is in team fights. But you just turn that off, and also like, what are you gonna do to deal with Lash? I get Sinclair could steal the Lash ult though, which could end up biting Buffingers in the ass here for picking this key team fight ult.
We have a software engineer on staff, and I would love to waste his brain power on finding out, has Drifter ever won a game?
He has.
Here on Night Shift.
Who was it? An NA team ran it, right? They ran a build that maximized the ult, so it was like a flashbang that like never ended or something.
When was the last time Drifter won a game?
It was like right after the new heroes dropped and the meta was like totally scrambled. People played a couple games of Drifter here and there, but looks like what we're hearing from our stats in production, that is 38% win rate. I feel like it was worse than that. I think also people just stopped picking it because I think it started really falling off in scrims. I mean, this could be like pride coming before the fall for Abrahams, man. Like, you don't want to give one back to Buffingers. I feel like if Buffingers win this game and we go game 3,
give one back. They gave you Shiv-Kelvin. Give one back.
Series.
Let's go to a game 3.
Just donate one. It's all good.
What does that say again, Solomon? The last win for Drifter was Shift 8 7 weeks ago, nearly 2 months ago.
Yeah, that sounds about right. so I believe in the Lash vision here as we go into game.
Yeah.
You get the Billy set up with the chain gang into the Lash ult.
The team fight could be really crazy. You have Infernus ultimate like lay on top of that too. So the team fight follow-ups are kind of insane, and I think that's the right idea of a draft to deal with what Abrahams are bringing, where they're like, we're going to tempo you out. We're going to have these like highly mobile, snowballing early laning heroes. It's like, yeah, I expect Abrahams to have a lead out of the lanes, but if Buffingers keep it manageable and play to the team fights and get towards that, like, you know, more grouped up mid and late game, I feel like things are going to really start to favor them. So that's exactly how Buffingers has liked playing in the past. They don't mind playing from behind and making some of these comebacks happen.
Okay, well, we are into the game. Abrahams versus Buffingers. This is the second map in the best of 3. Buffingers falling to the Shiv and Kelvin combo from Abrahams previously. So now let's check out these lanes and see if the prognosis is any better. And AVL's on the Drifter. I just honestly don't know what to make of this.
Actually, I mean, I see it together is also a beast on the Yamato. Like, don't get it twisted. You know, this guy is one of the best Yamatos. And I think this actually makes sense. ABL is like we heard, you know, from other players, he's like the ego, like self-maxing player. And Drifter is, in this type of a comp, I feel like is going to go for like the ultimate solo carry build, where you start getting those like stacks online where you're just, you know, increasing your gun damage for the rest of the game. That's how the Drifter really wants to scale, and very bad trades in the laning phase already for Listic. I mean, almost missed that score. I think he hit like 1 creep or something, but now finds himself very low and in an awkward spot against two laners that don't mind getting up close and personal with Mo.
Melee life still. Okay. Set TP to someone. Hit him with the melee. Okay, we're in some trouble. We're in a little bit of trouble. That's fine, because Hidden comes together. Who is, yeah, I agree. Super nasty on the Yamato as well. And it's going to actually be the Paradox and Sinclair lane for Abrahams in mid. And there you go. APL draws first blood. Love to see it.
Yeah, the melee life still very annoying on Drifter in the lane. Deemhoff finds a kill on the cosmetical on the Bebop. I mean, these kills, I don't think they're actually too backbreaking right here. The fact that Infernus has stayed relatively high HP, he's even going to get a couple solo souls here off this wave. And there's not really much early tower damage threat at this phase in the lane. So strangely, I think those kills are not going to be too impactful. But you find another set of kills here, and things could start to get scary, especially when Drifter gets that ultimate online.
So how do you feel like the lanes are going to break down here? We're about 3 minutes into this one. Obviously, it's fairly even at the moment. who is coming out ahead?
Right now, it looks pretty good for Abraham's. Taz finds Sharik, and I mean, Taz is another major problem in these laning phases, right? Giving Taz the paradox, it's a risky move for sure. Yamato could be a gun Yamato build this game actually from Together. What he's building so far kind of leans that way for me. I mean, I think going the high velocity rounds is something you don't usually see on the Spirit Yamato. Quicksilver reload from Mo could be the start to getting him back into this lane, but I mean, trading close range with Drifter, it doesn't feel that good. Yeah, look at this damage, man. Every time he steps up, and I mean, is this really a base trip for Listic? He's at like 1.8k souls. Like, this is problematic, and there's going to be a pretty substantial amount of tower damage coming in here every time these creeps crash.
Yeah, he's missing half a wave there. In creeps. Might miss some more as well. So here we are now on the right side. The Vindictor Holiday here for Abrahams as well. Up against the Lash Billy combo. But like, I don't see Lash Billy playing together all that much.
I mean, in theory, when you get the ultimates, that's a crazy power spike, right? You like Billy chain them in is like a super free setup for Lash, whether it's with the ultimate or just the follow up from the skills. So the synergy is there. You're right. I don't think it's a laning combo we see that much of, but it's going to be key. I think if Buffingers are going to be able to make a comeback in this game, as I mean, they're down to a 2k soul deficit, so it's a little bit of a comeback territory already. It's going to come from Lash and Billy and some monster team fights.
Oh, nice little peek and hook. Cosmetical on the Bebop. So we've seen 3 looks from Cosmetical so far. Really curious to see how the Bebop is. Super high skill playmaker like Pocket as well.
And Zergy shows up to the side lane, trades with ABL, gets taken down by Together. Oh, it's a big barrel onto Obakim. Obakim has to evade these shots. Headshot available for the Holiday. She's got the schmoves to get away for now, but the Lash is back and takes down Saint. It's a nice kill to unlock the ultimate here in the side lane. Holiday gonna be put on notice.
Oof. Nice find onto Sharik. I'm curious what the Lash build is going to be for Hoot, actually, because Hoot loves building trophy collectors, and Lash is a great trophy collector hero.
Yeah.
Because you can just connect the flog on people. You can just very easily get assists and farm assists, and also like all the abilities that you get from the trophy collector do actually meaningfully help Lash. So
yeah, sprint is nice, letting you get to fights, and that farm pretty valuable for a hero that doesn't love jungling necessarily, that kind of wants to be more active in the fights to get those stacks up. Yamato now diving deep. Nice parry though, beautiful read, and that could be enough to start turning around this fight. Zergy has found one. Is it going to be a second? Together doesn't have that shadow transform here in the mid lane though. Pressure is on. Abrahams wants to continue pushing this one down. They already have the Guardian taken, and they're not letting up the pressure whatsoever. Is he bleeding out? The burn. Oh, it's reapplied. That's a kill Together. And the Healbane kills, man. 2 Healbane kills for Infernus. He wouldn't even be standing here without the Healbane.
yeah, it's a great call out, and this is a meaningful shift, I think, in favor of buff enjoyers. Yeah. I'm honestly really excited to just see Hoot on really pretty much anything that he plays. But for those of you that are not familiar, Hoot is probably the best Deadlock player in the world.
Oh, Hoot's been caster cursed. Absolutely caster cursed by Dan. Lassoed is sniped under tower. In fairness, like, what the hell do you do about that one? Like, that's just you got to take that L, hold this one. But it does speak to some of the challenge in this game, right? It's not an easy Lash game. In theory, there's like, D-Mob could steal your ultimate and kind of throw it right back in your face. You could get swapped in, tethered by Vin, or just lassoed out of the air by Holiday, who's pretty great at canceling that Lash ult, right? She can kind of get up in the air and hit you with that lasso, shut you down. And even after some good rotations, still a 5k soul deficit. It's not great for the buff enjoyers.
Yeah, I was gonna say another big issue as well is counter spells. If those come in, I mean, you'd have to expect that they're going to come in, right, Jake? I mean, if you've got a Lash, like just one counter spell can be game breaking because it can cancel the entire ult.
It's a very good counter spell game, by the way, because not only do you have Lash ult, but you can also counter spell the concussive combustion and Infernus ult. You can counter spell Billy's chain as it pulls you. Both very, I mean, I wouldn't say easy, but for players at this level, I think it is pretty easy. Like almost guaranteed you're going to be able to hit those counter spells. So this, I mean, the item hasn't been bought as often lately, but I think you're right. This is quite the game for it.
Looking at the items here, I'm trying to see if there's anything unusual. To be honest, all of it looks really standard. We are only 6.5 minutes into the game, so mostly you're going to see pretty staple items. I'm ready to be convinced the Drifter's playable, man, in the comp.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see. You know, the game, there's a lot of Deadlock left to play in this game. That's what I'll say so far. D-Mob looking to get a Rabbit Hex in. Swap on the cards, or could be attempted on the Billy, but I think Obikim has played his way out of this one for now. See if any trophy collectors, cult stacks, you know, both teams are starting to get in towards some of these greedier items. So expect the game to slow down a little bit. It seems like a fight in the mid lane, though. A lot of players now. Buffingers maybe getting into this one. Billy, the laser over the top. Can ABL slip out of this one? The Drifter hits that darkness. Can he just get away and break the range? No, he gets caught in the Baroness Hotel and should almost certainly be going out of this one. Here comes the damage. Nuke is good. Sharik finishes it off. Is that a stolen Baroness from T-Mob? Did he put someone else away? Seems like they got out of that one.
Well, there's the fight around the mid boss. The offensive fight is down there at this time of the game.
Hey, 1-0. You take down ABL, right? I mean, this is how you got to play against Drifter. Gank him together. Don't let him get these 1v1s that he's hoping for. He's not that strong in a team fight. It's nice to help your team initiate a team fight with Darkness, but if you get caught first, you really feel pretty useless on the Drifter. Chain pulls in. Here's the Lash follow-up. Hits onto a couple players. Is there going to be finishes here? Hoot, the ultimate, slams one up, knocks them down. Taz pulled in pretty deep. You'd love to find this kill as the Lash, but for now, you're lassoed down. Saint is rotated into this one, and it's Hoot who finds himself caught between a rock and a hard place. Saint snipes him down. Still has one more bullet in the chamber with Obakim's name on it. Straight into the back there, but Billy has just enough tankiness maybe to get out of this one.
Oof, just barely. Thank you for the raid, Wanda Deadlock. Welcome, everyone. This is map 2 between these two teams, and honestly, this is perhaps one of the most strange drafts. I don't think I would have ever expected this draft to see any of these drafts that we've had so far today between these two teams of all teams.
Yeah, I mean, this is the meta has shifted more away from some of these heavy frontline drafts. But in fairness, Shiv-Kelvin both banned, right? Some of the top quality frontliners are out of this pool. But something like Abrams not even getting a look here in this draft, where, you know, you would have thought, hey, previous weeks of Deadlock, that would have looked like a pretty strong pick. Bombinger is getting a bit of a jungle raid off here, which is actually kind of a nice win for them. Big snipe onto Hoot, man. The resistances just aren't there, and Saint is just profiting. Very greedy Vin build, pretty much all damage, but it's working out for him.
Okay, 49k or 50k to 44 now, so 6k advantage.
Thanks for doing that center for me, brother. Sharik's just gonna pick that one off. Wait, he didn't do the center. We didn't take the center, bro. No shot.
Huh? Oh, he just gets caught it away. Did he get it?
I think he caught it. I mean, why did you do that? Oh my God, Sharik. Surely that looks like the freest center steal of all time. Billy now getting into this one. Doesn't have that chain gang though, so yeah, he doesn't have really the ability to lock it down, and ultimately they are gonna have to yield the buff, life buff, to Abrahams. I think Buffinger's got the other buff on the other side of the map, to their namesake, of course. Darkness popped. But yeah, they're just playing together, shrugging this one off. Hey, Cosmetical just running it down. He's calling the bluff with this Darkness. He's not afraid to step up. ABL's gonna have to fall back and farm the lane. I mean, the Drifter, I've not been made a believer in the Drifter from this game. Even if Abrahams win it, the Drifter looks pretty sus here. He's diving so deep to try and hit the Baroness, but just has to teleport out with that Walker Stomp. Right.
Oh, the lasso. Just pulling the stick deep.
Oh, there's the Baroness.
That's how he goes.
But it's Mo. I mean, okay, you're going to have a lot of follow-up damage on this to finish it off. He goes into the burrow. Heals up. Swap misses on the burrowed Mo. Listic getting a big heal, and he walks out through the door. Despite all this classic Mo grill, man.
Okay, who's looking for revenge? Oh, that's damage. Saint, oh, the floor doesn't finish him off.
Oh, he's
gonna
dead,
reload,
surely.
gonna reload. As he tries to chase down the kill, the 2 King is coming on through, but finally Saint goes down. Unfortunately, no one was coming in to help Saint there. I feel like that's revenge. That is revenge.
Oh, Urn drop being attempted. Is the parry there? Dortmund parry is baited out, and the combo is good. On to Taz. This is a classic. Buffinger's comeback starting to brew here. Urn and multiple kills. Yamato in deep, but maybe too deep. Has Shadow Transform, but I don't know if you want that smoke. Zergy super low. You're trying to just take out Zergy before you go down. ABL just barely, or rather together, barely gets off that power slash, and it's enough to take out Zergy. Okay. So despite being near the enemy's walker, together actually walks away from that of the winner.
Some crazy skirmishing going on. And in the meantime, Sate's come back to lane. He's found a sniper as well. So I don't know if he's got level 3 assassinate, but if he has, that's another 850 souls for him. So, okay, 3k difference. So
farm,
pretty
man.
close game.
And this Vin is super scary in the fights, but is super vulnerable as well, right? If you get on top of this Vindicta, she's going to be very, very easy kill. So many movement skills. Obakim just slides out of that one. Got tons and tons of barriers on this Billy. So it's a bit of a bait trying to go on him. You know, he's got all of these escapes. And with players like Dorman and Lash behind, Abrahams are, I think, a little bit reluctant to get chasing close to walkers to kind of get pulled into a team fight that they don't intend to take.
Try to keep farming without having to reload with the slides.
It's actually pretty masterful from Taz, like super min-maxing. He has Trophy Collector. See if he can build the stacks up. It feels like it's been a while since Abrahams have been able to get some of those early pickups they were getting in the early game, and ABL comboed, crunched in a very dangerous position. That tether gonna mitigate some of the continued aggression. Buffinger is looking to get into this team fight. Lacking some ultimates. Here's the lasso pulling Bebop super deep. Do they have the damage follow-up for cosmetical? Yes, they do. D-Mob finishes that one off. Big ultimate though from Hoot over the top. Slams in over everybody. Kills haven't yet come in though. There's ABL dropping to the deck. D-Mob also super low. Saint being targeted. Billy on top. Has that chain in real trouble. Does get this clean parry onto Hoot, but it's not enough to save Abrahams, who are down 2 in this team fight. So far, 2-for-1 winning trade. Swap comes in over the top. Nice warp stone up into the air to get extra damage on that ground slam. Now Paradox in Hoot's sights. Hoot still very healthy. Just beaming down the opposition. Sick parry. Keep someone alive for the moment. Now, the focus turns toward that mid Guardian, and Abrahams have managed to stay alive on a lot of players despite the low health. But that's a solid team fight for the Buff Enjoyers.
Yeah, cool build as well there from Hoot. But in comes the damage there. Zergy with the concussive combustion, and he's so low, but look at the defense coming on through. Zergy's just holding it down and forcing away Sanya Sniper. Ooh, in the meantime, Saint is going to be able to help ABL get that pick off onto Listic.
Oh my god.
Helmet breath.
Both
I think it's
teams
too healthy, right?
licking their wounds out of that one, yeah. But man, I mean, Abraham was able to live on so many low HP players and then re-engage into that one. Honestly, that really does come down to the wire. In the end, I think it's pretty neutral in terms of the soul trade. Maybe the lead expands a tiny bit for Abrahams, thanks to some bonus souls from a Saint snipe. But getting the mid Guardian down is actually, I think, pretty positive for Buff Enjoyers, and the lead isn't really enough for this Drifter to feel like a serious threat on the jungle invades here yet.
Yeah, I don't feel like Drifter really scales that well into the end game. So, you know, a lot of it's going to come down to ABL and Sanya Sniper on the Holiday and Yamato respectively to be that late game power force. So Buff Enjoyers, you know, 6k difference, you know, climbing back at the moment. It feels like the mid game could start to turn into their favor in the not too distant future as you start to see these ganks come online a lot more. And Zergy, especially as his damage starts to scale, he starts to get some power spikes going.
Yeah, I feel like the team fights are going to start to get scary. Sanya has built pretty tanky, so pretty like focused on the early game here, rather than rushing towards some of those later game items. Expect to see that coming up soon though. Options like a glass cannon for the carry. Somebody slips away from the lasso, and now Abrahams want to beat a hasty retreat here, but they could find themselves in a bit of trouble. There's a combo from Listic holding one down. Zergy in with the concussive combustion over the top now. Do you want to stay into this fight? Sanya doesn't really want to get into this. You're just trying to slip away from this, but Abrahams for now have done just that. Actually, together turns it around to the Shriek, and here's ABL starting to get some of these solo kills, building up stacks in the Drifter. That's exactly what you want. And with Saint over the top, these snipes can be like a howitzer coming in from the backline. You got to be very careful. One misses though, and he's kind of running low on ammo, but still it's a 3-for-0 in the end. That looks so good for the Buff Enjoyers, but they just couldn't find the kills.
Yeah, and all the lanes are pushed up in favor of Abrahams right now, and I feel like they've obviously shown us today that they are very good at playing this position where they have all the map pressured up, and they're going to be able to try to run the gun now. Here we go. ABL is going to try to send this one. Is there anything to stop this? I mean, you got the contest attempts coming through from Buff Enjoyers, and it's going to go though in favor of Abrahams. ABL will turn it in.
Gonna turn into a team fight now. Listic super low, snipe down, just can't quite get the skills off. And instead, it's an earn and a 1 for nothing here. Abraham's continuing to profit. The lead's starting to expand. Buffingers haven't been able to find the team fights they're looking for. It seems like Hoot popped his ult there, but I didn't see any connection out of it. Saint finally caught, but do you have the follow-up damage? As you do it, what a bag on the Vindicta. All those bonus souls up for grabs. Huge chain pulling from Overkim. Grabs 4. Follow-up from the laser from the backline. But so many Buffingers players are low. This isn't a free one. It's up to Overkim to kind of carry this fight, and he's doing just that. ABL trying desperately to move up to the high ground. ABL in the sights now. Overkim turning things around, has been the support for this team for so many fights. Now he's the carry. Now he's taking over. ABL missed parry. Billy's getting all these quick melees off, but he's not able to put it over the top. Sonya finishes him off. And in the end, it's still a 2 for 1. It's still a strong trade, but meanwhile, Zergy splitting the map, gonna get a free walker for his troubles. That's a very nice win for the Buff Enjoyers.
Yeah, that's actually massive. Whilst all that action was going on, and my God, Billy, like in the gauntlet against 3 different 1v1s there, insane stuff. And this catch is going to be so difficult to escape from Listic.
He's very tanky, and the door, so beautiful from Sharik there, building the door for his comrade, getting Listic out of trouble. Very nice to see it.
That's why you love Doorman. It's so hard to ever account for that when you're on the other team. What a great save.
All right, who has trophy collectors in this game? We need to get a stat check, trophy collector stat check.
So who doesn't have one? He went for like a warp stone.
I think he just built the straight up range increase. Oh,
yeah, he got Mystic expansion.
Oh, he's a little deep for this one though. Caught by the Recta as well. Here's the follow-up. ABL thought he could get cheeky with a quick pickup in the jungle. Instead, he's the one getting turned on. It is enough to take down Zergy, so a 1 for 1. May favor Abrahams right now. Big ultimate over the top. It's stolen. It's from the Sinclair. Is Hoot going to be able to get into this one? Saint from the backline once again, just pumping that damage from range. Here's the combo up on the high ground. Follow-up is good. Together is down. That's the front line starting to break apart. Buffinger is up 5 to 4 now. And Abraham's still healthy on the rest of their players. Buffingers might be happy to get out of this one. Cosmetical starting to drop, and same with the cleanup kill as well.
Beautiful. Beautiful shot there. Hell of a fadeaway. And, okay, I mean, still pretty close on the soul differential. 13k difference in favor of Abraham still. Knocked down onto Taz.
Oh, Taz has trophy collector. Trophy collector check. We must know. The people want to know. And by the I am the people. So we got what, just one on Taz. Looks like just the one on Taz. That makes sense. I think Paradox is another very good user of the ability range of the sprint speed. Max health, never hurt anybody. Mo trying to slip out of this one. Has been targeted by so many of these ganks, but so many times been able to walk away. Sort of low krill things, just signature. Surviving, healing through everything, and it's crucially scouting out some of the engaged before they really get going. 8 stats.
8 stats.
That's healthy. That's healthy. Little life buff for, I think, for together there on the Yamato is going to be extra hard to bring down if there's a team fight here, which could be happening. Zergy is getting into a fight with D-Mob on the other side of the map. It seems like he's winning decisively. D-Mob burning down to a crisp there. Trying to get earn control for Abraham's, trying to get their punish, knowing there's somebody around the map, but this could be potentially huge. Big ultimate is enough here together. Gonna get slammed down. Where's the Shadow Transformer? It finally comes out, finally able to purge off that silence, but he's still low on this Yamato. Good
but he gets isolated here.
He's healing! He's
no way.
He's the parry. Oh my god, nice attempt to save. Still 2 for 1 though. Buffinger's up numbers, and they steal the earn. Happy to run away with that.
Such a big kill to convert, and now it's going to be Mo going down, and that's going to equalize things for the moment because D-Mob is coming back up here. So Buff Enjoyers, they're going to be positioned to turn in the earn. There is no challenge for this. Yeah. That's a great win for them.
Wait, Taz TP'd. Does Taz want a piece of this? He's all alone. He's on the enemy side of the map. Just came out of the TP. This is a crazy contest to go for. I mean, he's going to put a lot of damage down, but he's alone for now. Okay, wait, the team is coming. They're showing up. The lifesteal is keeping Paradox alive. Still into this one. Gets that Guardian word as well. And now they're turning around looking for some more solo kills. ABL online, right? Has that Blood Tribute. Really powerful buff, right? Gives you debuff resistance, gives you spare resistance. You're actually very hard to bring down with the Blood Tribute. So Drifter is starting to come online in this game. But Zergy is very much online. 26k on this Infernus. Scary in these team fights. You need to bring him down early.
Okay, the game is still really neck and neck. I mean, it's a negligible difference in souls at this point. And okay, like we're in that spot where we're kind of a few minutes out from the 5-minute intervals where we get the bridge buffs and the urns, and so there's a lot of farming to be done on the map at the moment. And this is also like a great spot for someone like Dimov to try to just harass, to try to punish people who are trying to farm these sinners. It's a good spot for your team to pick up farm. It's a good spot to try to get pick attempts as well.
Yeah, I think Buffingers would love to just let some of these key team fight ults cool down. You want the Lash ult, you want the Billy ult, even Infernus ult as well, right? Those big AoE stuns, finding like more than one target really is the key to success in a team fight. But meanwhile, the macro game has been pretty decisive in favor of the buff enjoyers this game, right? The soul lead slightly in favor of Abraham's, but you know, one side walker already down, the other one on very low HP. You leave that alone for too long, someone could easily pick that off from buff enjoyers. Darkness being popped though. Is the attempt on Hoot going to be a good one? He's super low already on this Lash, struggling to get away, and yeah, the damage is just way too high. With the darkness as well, it's too difficult to play your way out of that one. And the pick on the Lash could open things up, but you're being punished already. Cosmetical is going to clean up an easy walker for this one-player trade. If that's all it ends up being, I think this is actually a pretty nice trade for the Buff Jars, but Abraham's, they want more, and they're going to force the mid-boss.
And this is also going to force a response. Buff Enjoyers have to challenge this. They've got a few ults. Chain Gang is amongst them. As the Reju Crystal falls from the sky, the team fight is going to break out here. Combo is going to be landed. And here comes the Yamato trying to take control of this. Together gets one. Listic gets one. 2 for Abrahams. With 2 players already down in the fight, but 2 down for Buff Enjoyers as well. They've got a Reju Crystal to fight with. This fight could go either way at this point. Still, a lot of damage being focused out of this Yamato. Big problem. There's the Power Slash taking down Cosmetical, but in comes Zergy to try to take down Yamato. Huge 1v1 right now, and it's going to be Zergy's as a massive bag is dropped, and Buff Enjoy is rolling through this fight right now, taking down absolutely everybody. Zergy with such a performance.
Oh my god, incredible fight from the Infernus. The fact that Buff Jars could find 2 kills before the fight even got going, and now they get another Taz caught dead to rights here. Should be cleaned up, trying to dance around the wall. Fancy footwork to even get out for a moment here, but the chase down is immediate and brutal. And Buff Enjoyers, lanes are great for them. They're going to go straight in onto this mid walker. There's a good chance they're able to drop this one and maybe even think about a base siege here, or maybe just cleaning up the jungle. Either way, huge retaining of the advantage here from Buff Enjoyers. Early deaths for Dimov and ABL end up being very costly.
And that could be the moment. We are for the first time we see Buff Enjoyers now ahead on the souls for the first time in this game. In comes ABL, but the knockdown is going to be isolating him.
You're still on 2. Do you really want to be here, ABL? I mean, okay, so you got out of this one for now, but here's the combo. Dimov might be the price that they pay for trying to chase that deep. Big punishes already for the Buff Enjoyers, and the TP out. Is it enough? Dimov just barely slips around the corner. He's 7 HP. Okay, no, the bullet comes in from Hoot with the Death Slam as well. Hoot's too low to really fight this one, and surely, yeah, with Together on top, this is starting to turn very, very scrappy, Dan.
Yeah, Walker's going to go down in the meantime for Buff Enjoyers, so starting to carve out a slight lead here as the gun buff does get collected here for Cosmetical. So that's actually kind of nasty on a Bebop. As the gun damage is pretty nice. I'm not sure what his build looks, how his build looks at the moment. If it's kind of becoming more of a gun build now later into the game. Get some of those gun items online. So we've got the Tesla bullets. We've got capacitor coming online right now. Debuff reducer also coming online as well. So yeah, the capacitor is definitely a nice damage spike.
Yeah, definitely a key one here. And you're right. This Bebop has pretty significant gun damage. Lasso misses. That could have been a kill there, potentially, for Abraham's on this side lane, but Sonya not connecting that. Now just turning the attention onto the walker. There's a bit of a defense here. Infernus is here. There's a big rescue beam, pulls him out, but he's still cooking. And this Infernus damage is very real at this phase of the game. That's a duration extender. Don't want to try to fight this guy. He's got metal skin as well. So much defense out of Zergy. He knows he's such public enemy #1 in these fights. Now Cosmetical swapped in super deep into the waiting arms of Together's Yamato. Just cuts him to pieces. Saint with the finish as well. Diving under the walker is so deep. Okay, big lash ult. Is it enough? Pulls one in. Drifter very deep. Silence under the walker is the follow-up there. It's turning into a 5-on-5. Buff Enjoyers need to bring everyone to this. Bobikin can get a catch here with the chains. Here he goes deep into the front line. Catches multiple. Rabbit Hex is good. It's going to deny him popping some of these skills. Getting the follow-up. It's still a 5-on-5. anybody's fight here, but it seems like Abrahams are the team that feels like they're getting the worst of this. They're trying to back off. Buffingers would love to catch them on the exit here. And Saint looks like a bit of a movement mistake from Saint. Got caught on the ridge, slammed down maybe by a ground slam there. So it ends up being a 2-for-1, but with the Walker going as well, you don't feel too bad about that, although a third kill would really seal the deal here, making Buffingers the decisive victor of that team fight.
And now they can start to just clean up all the lanes, start to push all the creeps out. And obviously a lot of farm to be picked up here too. So they're starting to really come alive in this game. And one interesting aspect of this game to me is that it looks like we could potentially enter not just the late game, but the super late game. And in the super late game, signing a sniper on holiday becomes a really big problem. You know, together as Yamato also can be very nice in terms of that late game scaling. And in terms of Buff Enjoys, I don't know that I like their scaling as much. In terms of the raw damage output, I think they're going to get beat by Abrahams, Jake.
Maybe, but I'm worried about the team fights. I think, like, in theory, if it was just a game of, like, raw gun damage into each other, I would agree. But I think getting, like, these massive AoE team fights, it's going to be too much value. And, you know, someone like Saint, who has a pretty significant net worth, is like, what is he going to be able to offer if he gets caught in, like, an insta-bursted in an ultra-late situation? And I think Buffingers are just more likely to get a better start to the team fight now with all these AoE catch skills that they have. Abrahams really want to find an individual, and this is much more of a death ball game. I feel like ABL is not really getting value out of the passive right now. As a Barrett is on a D-Mob, let's see what's waiting for him as he comes out of this one. Okay, he just has Spectral Assistant instantly TPing out, but this is turning into a team fight. Lasso pulls deep. It's Obakim bursting down first. That's actually a big kill. Without Obakim, I'm not sure that you want any part of this on Buff Enjoyers.
So the game is ultimately still neck and neck, and the only difference really is the Walker advantage that Buff Enjoyers have now. So that's going to be what is going to precipitate this action.
Solo.
And the Shadow Transformation comes on through, but
needs these heals. Chase down is coming in. They're going to attempt for more. Cosmetical's already super low, in trouble. Here comes Zergy, though. He's going to be the linchpin of this fight. 41k souls on the Infernus. What can he get done here? Together, completely out of this one, has already beat a retreat there, ziplining back. Saint burns down. Hoop gets the finishing blow there. Anyone who's caught is almost certainly dead now. Zergy is just too strong to fight. They don't have the answers anymore. ABL trying to get out of this one, trying to slip away with some cheeky movement and slides, but he can't. Zergy's got the burn on him.
Yeah, a few more kills to try to chase down here for Buff Enjoyers, as Zergy's in just such a good position now on this Infernus. It's actually looking mega strong. Got the crippling headshot online as well. So the damage output is undeniable. And I mean, they're in such a commanding position now. Cleaning up this yeah, just cleaning up the creep wave that just somehow made its way through the tower.
Yeah, sometimes, I mean, this phase of the game, man, like a huge wave of creeps just crunches through your base Guardians. No problem getting that, like, many heal creeps all together. But still, 3 on the deck here for Abrahams. Opportunity for Buffingers. What are they going to do with this tempo on the map? Zergy is enormous, man, and he's so tanky in these fights. It's gone suppressor, crippling. I mean, there's a lot of status effects from this Infernus. Like, you get burned, you are really starting to feel it. Mid boss is off, perfectly timed by the Buff Enjoyers, and this might just be free. I mean, maybe Demov can put some harass in. You have some good tools to threaten, but are you really going to go for this 4v6? I guess 4v5, since Cosmetical is also coming back into this one. Knowing Abrahams, I expect they're going to get into the fight.
Yeah, Shadow Transformation is online here for Together. He's going to pop it as he goes into the pit. They go, jumping in, the parries, and the rejuve captures are coming all the way here for Buff Enjoys, every single one of them, and they're going to get out of the fight, looking out to now chase down the kills.
Oh my god, 3 crystals against the Together Yamato, just completely shut down. Abraham's forced into the desperation contest, and now Buff Enjoyers wanting more. Blood in the water, Demov in the sights here of this Mo Krill. Going to be an easy cleanup, a little bit of revenge there for the laning phase from Lystix Mo. And ooh, ABL. This is a 1v1. Drifter in the 1v1 is pretty scary. And yeah, with the wave crashing against you, who choosing the wiser path, I think, going back to clear this wave.
Let's take out Holiday.
Pretty big damage still able to be delivered here. Oh my god, that door coming in the nick of time so you can escape Sanya Sniper. Just it's actually so insane, the damage output, and the isolation there onto Sharik is just gonna be a horrible death.
Sharik already uses rejuve, yeah, so he can't lose the crystal there. I like that from Abrahams. They're only 3 alive, but they call the bluff. They say, we know you're out in the map farming, greeting this one up, Buffer Enjoyers. We're gonna punish the people sieging mid.
I mean, they're still not dead just yet. I mean, there's still threats here for Buff Enjoyers to have to worry about.
Absolutely.
Again, it does seem like the team fight is overwhelming in their favor, but still.
I mean, I think the tide has turned against them, but, you know, and this late in the game, right, if you make some big mistakes and lose a couple of pickoffs, especially if you lose some of these key team fighters, like if Lash or Billy are down, or God forbid, Zergy, I mean, frankly, if Zergy goes down early, this is going to look very different. There's a ton of pressure on Zergy right now with the amount of net worth he's carrying. He's at 48K. Like, he's nearing really the max potential. Here's Hoot, caught by the slowing hex. Eternal Knight as well. Are they going to be able to get in on top of him? He's close to that walker. One player, though, still on the respawn. Buff Enjoyers, do they want to take this fight? They have the crystals, but with one down, I think they'd be better off just falling back and resetting this one. And it seems like they're going to do just that.
Yeah, the big old reset for Abrahams. Oh, they're just closing in on ABL2. Daring escape. And now you got the picks being looked for. You got the Lash coming on through. This is a nice later kill. This is a big potential. Obviously, Rejuve Crystal is going to come in there to help them out, but this could be a problem. We'll see, though. Buff Enjoys. The rest of the team is going to come in. Maybe it's just all about being a bait setup. The kills look too good to be true. Abraham's fall back.
Hey, they get a crystal out. I mean, they're kind of bleeding out some of these resources from the Buff Enjoyers. Buff Enjoyers haven't really gotten the base siege that they've been hoping for. But this is kind of their last best chance at it. Rejuve ticking down. They want to still get some value out of it. Whew, these hooks, though. One of those connects from Cosmetical, and you could be in a world of hurt, Abrahams. They cannot afford to give up their players on this base defense. At this point in the game, the patron drops very, very quickly.
Siege. It's not really started just yet, but they're sitting out. The orcs are outside. Helm's Deep.
Man, he's so tanky on this Infernus. He's kind of unafraid of some of these trades. And they're just going to go back and farm it up. All right. So conservative from the Buff Enjoyers. I mean, in fairness, right, they're facing elimination right now. They need this game 3. They're in control of this game, and I think this is classic Buff Enjoyers. They're not going to risk it on like a cheeky one rejuve base push when out of the base playing the team fights. You know, they are super favored, and they're wanting to keep the game, you know, where they want it, which is like out in the open where Lash has room to work. You get towards the enemy base, things start to get scary, right? There's a lot of those cheeky corners where, you know, there can always be a lone drifter hiding. Speaking of drifter, ABL's pretty nicely farmed here. But it just doesn't feel like quite the carry threat. And I mean, not that many stacks in the passive. He's got, what, plus 25, which is decent, but it just shows at this level of play, man, people just don't split up enough for you to really get those solo kill finish buffs. Here, Eternal Knight popped onto 3. But the players are here. They're contesting him at close range. In the Rabbit Hex as well. Challenging for these buffs. Big Billy Chain pulls players in deep, though. Counterspells are good. ABL tanking a lot here, turning now to take the whole ire of Buff Enjoyers. They're all trying to burn down this Drifter. He went in way too deep, and now Buff Enjoyers get the punish. Here's that Lash ult. Is it good enough? Pulls one, and Vindictus a great catch with that. Here's Taz over the top, though. Great vision on the Paradox, can get what he wants. Vin is already down, and now Paradox, high ground no longer good enough. He's trying to make it to that jump pad, but just can't quite get there. Eva from Uber purges the Infernus burn, which is nice, but the damage is so massive. Trying to get that mobility, and only Taz gets out of this one, man. Goodness
Oh
gracious.
my god. That's crazy. How on earth did he escape? Oh my god, the movement is unreal.
That was
That's crazy,
honestly.
dude.
And Buff Enjoyers got it back and clean the base, but again, this is starting to feel like, okay, this is Buff Enjoyers' game to lose, right? And I think they're starting to feel it too. Play the map, continue to get farmed up. I mean, what are your next items? I guess Infernus. I mean, I don't even know what you're buying at this point on Infernus. This game is getting so crazy. Maybe just more tankiness, more damage.
I don't know, just do what ABO did and just copy pasting items. Like he's got 2 frenzies. Like ABO.
Yeah. The visual. Okay, to be fair, that is important. That's a visual bug. Sometimes you get it looks like you have 2 items in this bag. He has 1 frenzy, guys, just 1. If you could buy 2 of the same item, what would be the most broken item? I'd buy 6 spirit shieldings personally. You deal 300 spirit damage to me, and I get 2,000 health.
Okay, well, this should do it, right? This should secure it. There is a challenge, though. Shadow Transformation is online again. Still
like
not possible.
They might fake this, or are they going to go for it? A 6-on-6. This is crazy risky, man. Buffinger's going to gamble the game on this mid-boss take. They're finishing it, dropping that rejuve. Our Abraham's going to get into this one. You better believe it. See what comes in over the top. Where's the connections? Where's the parry? Multiple players now coming in very late from the Yamato. They do get one crystal. 2 crystals go towards Buffingers. They've already lost one of them, but the fight ensues. 2 players down, hitting the deck. Zergy playing that tempo, still healthy, still healing up off that leash, and I think he's going to already hit towards the base, man. This game could be done and dusted. Buffinger is pulling in Abraham's. Just a very aggressive rush in, trying to take down that mid-boss early, and this time they come away with the win. Ooh.
Yeah, looking
Sonya?
very nice now. Oh, this game has been hard work for buff enjoyers.
1 damage. Sonya Sniper's trying to bounce away from this. No, kicking around the corner. Chased down by the Lash. Nerf Lash. And an urn as well. Insult to injury, Obakim. But you know what? That's classic buff enjoyers, right? Locking down the game, securing it. And honestly, with 70 seconds on the respawn for Sonya, this is going to be a 5v6 for the patron. Is that a hook? He hooked a bin? Oh my god, again? Cosmetical, very clean there on the Bebop. And that's an 80-second respawn for Saint. This should be the finishing blow of the game here. Patron's gonna be dropped in moments, and let's see. Sonya's respawn 27. Yeah, you're down 2 and the crystal. This is surely Buff Enjoyers forcing game 3.
Yeah, that Patron's gonna die in like 1 second, so that is indeed gonna be a wrap, I think, for this one. Here we go. Into the pit. Nice catch from Cosmetical. Love to see it. Showing a great versatility so far today, as we will finish map 2 in favor of Buff Enjoyers, and that means we're going to 3 maps.
We go again.
Abrahams. You win a game and you pick the Drifter. All right.
We knew what was gonna happen as soon as Drifter locked in. Low2 said, nah, man. 38% of the time he wins. This was not one of those percents. We got Buff Enjoyers going up against Abrahams and a slobber knocker as always. Did this game deal more highlights than game number 1? Because GDK had at least 15 more minutes on it.
I mean, it was about twice as long, in fairness.
Let's take a look at some of those highlights, right, Solomon? We got these, right? They're coming up.
Dude, that's the only highlight I need is Taz's daring escape with the movement.
Oh,
that was
crazy.
So sick.
That was insane. The copied combo, always a nice one. This happened a few times in the mid game, right? The communication is beautiful there. Listic, like turning around, and you know, honestly, the will to do that when you're in a spot where it looks like you're gonna die. Sick fadeaway jump shot there, and then you turn around and go back to the door for the comms. Very clean. Big, by the way, Obakim, big game, right? Tasked with a much higher econ role, have to kind of frontline and carry. Looked rock solid this game. Up against together, right in the front line.
Being on the front line or playing as
I mean, usually he's been a little bit more supporty, right? Has been playing a little bit. Yeah, he has, but then he's been playing like he was like a farmed Ivy last game. This game on the Billy, just playing like a very conventional, you know, mid to high eco frontliner. So Buffingers, I mean, Obakim has always been flexible, but he's really showing that in today's games, particular.
Dan, game number 1, you said Together from Abrahams was potentially your MVP. Was there anyone from Buff Enjoyers that stood out above the rest in your eyes?
Oof. You know what? I do think Obakim played really, really well. I like the shout out there for Obakim. You know, oftentimes whenever who's playing and they witness like it's, you know, just a hoot. But I feel like Obakim, especially in the hardest points of the game, had a lot of impact. And because let's not forget, like that was a super losable game. Abrahams were pretty ahead. I mean, they were ahead for the majority of the game. I think if we see the stats screen, we'll probably see like the souls, kind of just be in their favor for most of the game. So Obakim really was the one that I think that kept it together in a lot of the fights. So I would give it to him probably.
Chat was saying that Abrahams threw it. They did it on purpose. They wanted to milk the screen time. I think it was us, chat. We were talking shit. We got Hoop fired up. He's like, yeah, EU sucks. NA's the big T-bone. He's actually showcasing his best gameplay as possible, and we are going to round number 3. We got more highlights coming your way. We also have an MVP award at the end of this match. I need to know, though, during the break, who do you think deserves the honors of most entertaining player during the game? We all know Viper's the best character. It's break time. We'll be right back. Would the eggs be lumpy or would they be smooth? That is the question Chat and I have been pondering over on youtube.com/Deadlock Night Shift. We've got DDK and Jake, though, our two excellent salespeople. Before we jump into game 3, DDK, tell the people why they're here and what they could do tonight.
I think, okay, so I know this one. Okay. So they're here because they like Deadlock.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Okay. And what was the second question?
Community members who like Deadlock.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep. And then what was the second question? I've already forgotten.
What could they do tonight?
You guys could subscribe. No, wait, hang on. You guys could stay tuned for the after show, after show, because we have a guest that we're doing an interview with. Graveyard Shift, which is a patron and subscriber exclusive. So if you are subscribed, if you're a patron, you can check it out.
So it's kind of like we give you even more access to the people in the Deadlock community and the pros that play the game. Jake, and tonight, it's cheaper than ever. If you wanted to hook up some friends, we got 35% off for another 6 hours. How's that work?
5+ gifted, baby. Huge discount on gifted subs. Great way to support the channel. Great way to support the stream. Everything we do here. And while this is the EU Grand Finals, we're going to Game 3. If you're just joining us, between Buff and Joyers and Abrahams, the two top teams in Europe, going head-to-head, clashing now after this Buff and Joyers rebuild. But this is only halfway through the day, man. We got a whole NA tournament coming up right after this, and that's every Wednesday here on the Night Shift. The best teams in Europe, the best teams in North America, the best Deadlock esports you can find anywhere.
Bam. All the best. Thank you all for being here. We are up over 2,000 viewers over on Twitch, over on YouTube. We are nearing our goal of 10,000 subscribers. I'm hitting refresh because I think we just passed that number. If not, head on over to youtube.com/Deadlock Night Shift for me. Drop a sub because you can see some of the best gameplay every single Wednesday. Tonight, Taz doing his best for the Abrahams, but it's a 2-kill difference. And after 38 minutes of game time, Buff and Joyers force a game 3. ABL on the Drifter. Now seeing the numbers. DDK, was it the Drifter's fault?
I don't know, man. I think it's. Okay, yeah, okay.
Kinda.
It's the Drifter's fault.
Kind of is, guys.
Look at that guy. He hasn't even had a shower in I don't know how long. Probably at least 2 weeks. Look at him. Have a shave. Come on, sort yourself out. Get a job.
All right, the game is ready, so we can jump.
The war is over. The bums have lost.
Let's take a look here at our draft as we jump into things. I think the players are ready, right? Yeah, we were just filling. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Big shout out for everyone's patience tonight. Thank you for joining us. This is the EU Grand Final. After this, we're switching over to our NA Challenger. We've got all kinds of different metas, and EU seems to make more sense to us. So let's start here with the expected ban. Here it comes, Jake. What are they getting rid of? Shiv?
Actually, so this is, I believe, the first time Abrahams have been first pick. So they're going to ban the Infernus. In fairness, this is what Zergy.
What else you got,
it's
bro?
Zergy's best character in terms of a top meta character right now. I think it's Zergy's best. So this is a less of a meta ban and actually more of a direct attack on the Buff and Joyers. I would love to see Buff and Joyers ban the Shiv here, especially with Infernus out of the pool. Dude, I don't care if you're getting Kelvin or not. Don't give together Shiv, and they followed the rule, Dan. They followed the rule number 1.
Yep.
Playing against together. Do not let me play Shiv.
They've evolved. They've grown. Okay. So now the question is, do they pick Kelvin? One would assume that Kelvin's still pretty high priority, but what do you give up? You're going to give up the first pick Paradox. You might give up in fact, you might give up Yamato and Paradox, or you might give up the Holiday. Like, you're going to give up quite a lot here for this Kelvin. So the question is, we go back to that first game we saw today, Jake. Is the counterplay for Abrahams with the Kelvin, is that going to come out here in force with Doorman, with Pocket? Is it
crazy to pick Sinclair Doorman off the rip? Is that like too? That is too crazy. But
that's a bit too out there, isn't it?
But it would be. I mean, that was the recipe.
Oh, there it is.
Okay,
Door buddy.
Hold up.
Door buddy.
Hold up. I mean,
show me a little skinny man with a.
Show me a little guy with a mustache and a magic wand, because that did look like a pretty nasty counter. The door lets you contest those urns and drop them in before Kelvin's ready to stop. And also lets Sinclair get in position to put in a stolen Frozen Shelter and turn it back the other way. But they go with the Paradox, which...
Safe.
And honestly,
take it away from Taz.
Is Abrahams really going to take the Sinclair away, like, in the first 2? You might even get a 3rd pick here.
Yeah. Same thing, like, I mean, I wonder about Pocket, because we haven't... It'd be so cool It would be so cool to see
Cosmetical on the
cosmetical.
pocket. I would
Yeah,
love to see
man.
it, man. Like, especially against a team as good as the Abrahams. That would be a real test. Abrahams are going to be quite happy, though, I think, to grab the Yamato, whether it's ABL or together. I don't think they're really too worried about one way or the other. I mean, you have insane Yamato players on this Abrahams roster.
We might see an Ivy for Zergy. I feel like maybe Zergy gets into the end of the draft with an Ivy potentially, because I'm not sure what else he's going to play. Because I mean, Mina is something that he has gone to, but
Have we seen Ivy do anything but lose recently?
It hasn't looked as good, but I think Ivy still has a lot of potential as a character.
but Osis plays Ivy. It's a bit different.
That's the thing.
got
It
it.
has looked good, and I do think Zergy, his pool isn't great right now. Like, Seven and Wraith are pretty much unplayable in terms of like the pro meta. People just aren't really using those characters. Ivy is kind of the gun
There
carry.
is.
However, actually, we have seen Zergy play the Mina, so I think that's something to
Yeah.
keep in the back of your mind. It might
A
easily
very
go
good
other
Mina.
ways, but he did have a very sick Mina game, exactly. So that's something that I would kind of like to see in this game, because Zergy getting super farmed in the Mina, I can see the vision. However, this game, I actually don't know how Mina's matchup against Holiday seems kind of bad to me in the late game. Like, you could just get like deleted by Holiday in two bullets, you know?
Okay, now we want to understand, is Pocket going to get banned? Because that has happened, and if Pocket gets banned here,
I think they
I'm
should.
very
Just
sad,
don't
man.
take it away from. Exactly. I hope they don't, but I think they should. I think the cosmetical pocket is very scary, and I would love it if Buff and Jars go back. However, Mina plus pocket, I mean, it's not unheard of, but okay, it is going. I mean, you got to put respect on this guy, man.
I think also because Kelvin pairs so well with the things that Pocket counters, like that heavier front line, is what you want to get rid of Kelvin.
exactly.
So you kind of want to get rid of that Pocket threat.
I would have rather seen Buff and Jars get the pocket here on slot 3. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's just so sick. I think cosmetical, like, this is the game where you say, hey, all right, cosmetical, do your thing, give them the full comfort zone. But Mina and Mo, I mean, the pickoff threat, the mobility on the map right now for Buff and Jars, both top notch here. So, you know, it's going to be a little awkward for Yamato and Kelvin to actually get into the kind of fights that they really want to find.
Gerpy wants to know, does Vindicta fit into either comp?
I think Vin actually looks good for both teams. And Vin is a pretty solid character, you know, for the initiation. We saw Saint had a very snowbally strong early game.
Might
I think
see
she
it.
falls off a little bit in the late game. But yeah, very realistic. I think Abrahams probably is the comp more likely to pick Vindicta here. They have Abrams too, so Abrams Vindicta is kind of an OG classic lane.
Yeah,
The blue people.
my thoughts exactly. Let's see what they go with, because it's
There's also Bebop. Okay.
yeah, okay,
Yep.
okay.
That's the thing. If you pick Vin,
Snag.
it's almost assured that Buff and Jars then are going to respond with the Bebop. And then I think the Vin would be a little bit scared, right? We saw that, you know, a little bit last game, right? You get hooked in on Vindicta. It's kind of over for you. You get hooked in on Vindicta. It's not the place to be. And when you're up in that air flying around thinking you're safe, that's when the hook strikes.
Okay, so the Sinclair
They get the
comes
doors
in.
again. Listic was really good on the Sinclair across this series. Even though they didn't win game 1, I still was very impressed. I still felt like it was strong. And now this is the Doorman plus Sinclair response to the Kelvin that we saw in our Challenger match. Different matchup, you know, obviously against Fearless Furies and Abrahams. So this is going to be, I think, more of a meaningful test about the meta, really. Is this the powerful response you want to go for? And they're going to snipe that Vin away themselves. This is Buff Enjoyers playing the tempo game, maybe playing a bit of
Do we
Abrams'
like
own game
this?
against them.
Sinclair and Doorman, you wanted to see that. I feel like Paradox away from Taz is a bonus. Zergy has shown us a good Mina. Do they have enough beef? I feel like the tanky guy I see here is Mo and Krill. Am I wrong?
The thing that, so I actually like all the pickoff that Buff Enjoyers have. They have a lot of really good combos and synergies for the pickoff, like the mid game, the pressure game. But I kind of worry about the late game.
Yeah,
'Cause Mina is
I
no
think Buff Enjoyers
Infernus.
need to. This is a game in contrast to the last game where I felt like Buff Enjoyers could be behind and find team fights as they did. This is a game I don't think you can really be behind on the Buff Enjoyers, and so it's quite bold to go for this on game 3 when historically Buff Enjoyers has been a let's team fight and make comebacks happen. But they're saying, hey, we're gonna draft some winning lanes, we're gonna dominate you early, and we're gonna just never break that chokehold. And it's actually gonna be, I think, more Abrahams that are looking for the pickoffs and the team fights to bring it back. Less explosive of a team fight than last game. This is no Billy Lash and Furnace, triple threat, huge AoE control skills. It's a little bit more individual. You're going to find the Bebop hook to pick somebody off, maybe an Abrams charge or a lasso to pull somebody into trouble, and maybe the dome to follow it up. But not so easy, I think, to pull off with Doorman Sinclair. Like, because we've seen the playmaking, the team play potential between those two characters alone is pretty devastating. So I see the vision for both teams. Buff Enjoyers, I think, they found themselves the style they wanted to play in game one, but a much more effective draft to actually allow them to do it.
We need predictions right now. 56% of y'all are taking Buff Enjoyers over Abrahams. It's game number 3. DDK, call it. You going Abrahams or Buff Enjoyers?
I think it's going to be Abrahams to me, Jay. Jake, what about you?
Oh, it's so close. Honestly, I'm leaning Abrahams, but I feel like this is doable for the Buff Enjoyers. I just think the execution difficulty is so high. But if there was a team that could pilot this like super challenging comp, Buff Enjoyers would be that squad, right? They would be the team I'd kind of trust to be able to, take an early lead and maintain it, expand it without giving up any kind of bad fights. And historically, that's been Buff Enjoyers' strength: the communication, the team play. So winning lanes against Abrahams is something that very few teams, very few players have ever accomplished here in Deadlock, but it's what Buff Enjoyers need to do, I think, to give themselves a solid footing in this decisive Game 3 in our EU money match.
Quick reminder, we need to get to 10,000 subs over on youtube.com/@DeadlockNightShift. We are 400 away. Once again, Deadlock Night Shift, hit that sub, help us hit 10K. Then I can sell more sponsorships. Love you guys.
For a second, I was thought like Pocket's talking about Twitch. I was like, whoa, dude. Pocket,
we need 10,000
right
Twitch subs. Let's go. 10,000 Twitch subs. We need it.
I wonder what the like
CFO,
largest like
I will
gift
set
is.
that as the target. All right, let's go. 10,000 gifted. Call your credit card company. Get the limit up. This is not financial advice.
Okay, well let's take a second to look at how the lanes break down, because obviously this is always a really important aspect to how these games start. You said Buff Enjoyers have to start ahead, so are they starting ahead off of the lanes?
I mean, it's gonna be a little bit deeper into the lanes when I'm more worried about it, but I just think the way this draft plays, it's like I think Abrahams have the better team fight. So if Abrahams get an early lead and they start tempoing objectives down, I don't see how you really punish that as Buff Enjoyers. But if Buff Enjoyers come out ahead and they're just like too mobile and they're the ones roaming and they're the ones, kind of showing up in numbers when Abrahams aren't actually ready to bring the fight, that's when I could feel a lot stronger about this. So we'll have to see, especially as like the ultimates come online. That's really the moment when I'm starting to see like, okay, who's building the lead, right? If you get the ultimates up first, that tends to be, I think, a key part of your advantage. And already the trades haven't been great in this side lane, but in fairness, this is a scary lane. Yamato Bebop, man, there's a lot of threat in this lane. You get hooked in, you get pulled deep, you could be in real trouble.
Oh yeah. Okay, well, okay. Speaking about real trouble, we got Hoot on Sinclair. Let's go. Let's go. Did we see him do Sinclair with the trophy collector last time?
I think so. I think that was in the last night shift potentially, or maybe the last time we saw him. He played the Sinclair. He did look really good on it. Listic also had big games on the Sinclair today, so I'm a little surprised to see the swap. But then again, maybe Mo Krill isn't really the Hoot hero. That would be kind of a crime to put Hoot on Mo.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, well, it's gonna be really fun to see how they make this work. I'm gonna change to Buff Enjoyers. I don't know.
All right,
I don't know.
Red swap. You believe? Respect. I mean, look, I think they have a while to find that opening. I don't think they need to like rush the game down. I just think, as you said, we get to late game, that's when I'm gonna start to get worried for them. I also think Taz. Oh, interesting. So Taz is on the holiday this time. So he's playing that pick-off hero that he's so experienced on. I expect to see the early game be great for Taz. But then into the late game, actually, I kind of like that. Give Taz the ball. Like, let him be your carry. There's few players I have more faith in with, like, an end-game farm potential than Taz.
I can't wait till we have Deadlock lands and we can kind of, like, see all the players, and start, like, putting the faces to the names more.
What a parry. Through the rabbit hex. Oh, a double parry. Oh, my God. Hoot's getting styled on. But Hoot is very healthy here. He's under his own Guardian. Oh my God! If ABL gets this kill, this is crazy.
Oh my God!
A quick wall bounce away. Oh my God! It's brutal. This is turning.
Leave him alone.
You don't like that in the side lane, and you don't like that one bit. All right, who needs to deep breaths, brother? Because that is a tilter.
Man, ABL Savage. What is this guy doing? Is he been roiding? Has he got roid rage? What's happening?
Seriously, man. Bebop, Yamato have their ults online at 4 minutes. Oh God. That's not
Always on
good.
the trend.
While we are paused, guys, if you take your attention to the top right tonight, this is a community-funded prize pool. We're up to 2,317.28. We'll be splitting that number 50-50 with NA and EU. Thank you all for your support.
Shout out to the community. Almost doubling our prize pool. As a CFO, it's my duty to say we also put up $1,200. We also putting that work in.
We did the first half.
Community's almost doubled. I think we could get to double by the end of NA.
100%.
Surely. But that being said, that 35% off on the 5 gifted, I mean, come on. That is a very tempting offer.
Okay, well, again, okay, the charge. This is what we love to
big
see,
charge.
Abrams.
Are you strong
Oh my
enough,
God,
though?
he's-
Mo's tanky. He doesn't mind soaking that one. Here's the kill from Zergy. If there was a hero in Buffenger's time of need, it would be him. You're comboing in onto that Kelvin and just deleting him. And this is a Kelvin Abrams lane that just got crunched. All right, Mina. And they're going to go for the tower finish, too. Okay, that's exactly the type of start you needed to counterbalance the dominance from ABL and DMob in the other side lane. And arguably, this is even more dominant. They've dropped tower. I mean, ABL and DMob haven't really put that much work in. And actually, Obacam has already struck back. Here's the copied ultimate from Yamato, Baroness Hotel. Special gift for Taz, see if he can climb his way out of this. I love the way the pros are doing this escape from the Baroness.
Yeah, this is a really good start. All things considered. Okay, buff enjoyers. I love that. I love that we're seeing more Doorman, honestly, as well. Like, Doorman's so cool. He adds a lot to the game.
Man, with ABL and DMob start, this game was looking actually kind of scary, and Buffengers have kind of pulled it right back into control with that double kill from Listic and Zergy on the side lane. Sharik finds Taz now, and now the mid lane's starting to look like real trouble. So the burden on ABL and Taz is kind of growing.
Big ass burden. Cosmetical
Paradox.
has played a different hero in every single map that we've seen so far, I think.
Yeah,
is that
has
correct?
beaten the pocket one trick allegations for sure, right?
Yeah.
Hook is good. Beautiful catch there by DMob. Rabbit Hex is making this very weird. And the Battle of the Beams! It's Dragon Ball Z out here! But Hoot's going to back off that one. More committed build there from the Bebop. And ooh, 15 seconds on that ulti. ABL wants to dive this. He wants every piece of that. And the tree blocks the power slash. That's going to keep Hoot alive for the moment. Does he have to outplay Parry? Not good for now. The teleport back. Snipe could be good. 4 seconds now on the ultimate. Shadow transform. Could turn this one down. Ooh. Is it enough? ABL's incredibly low. Still hasn't popped that ultimate. The hook is good. And it turns into another double. So Abraham's feasting on the side lane. And now they're going to get their own Guardian take.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of like individual moments already. Wow, crazy stuff. Okay, 32k to 32k though, so we're all tied up here. It's a very action-packed first 7 minutes in this one. This is the final map between these two teams, looking to take home the prize, as this is the money match here in Europe.
This is an interesting game for Zergy. Typically, Zergy just has these like pure farming, you know, he's not really going to get active until, hey, 10, 15 minutes into the game. But with the lead he has right now and the Guardian down, there's an argument for him getting more active and looking for more fights. So here's a fight that's going to come to him here. Lasso available. Single retreat has been deployed, so he could be vulnerable. Oh, Taz. Slight mistake on the movement there. Couldn't quite make it to the high ground, and that's going to let Zergy get off scot-free. He's going to be so far in this game. I mean, he has a free solo lane, ton of jungle to clear. This is going to be a monster game for Zergy. I'm calling it out already.
Yeah.
At what point do we just put the observer cam on Zergy and hang there?
All right, I mean, low-key, bro does jungle for 2/3 of the game, so it'll be a while until we get to that point. But it could happen, man. I mean, I do think the way the strat has been built, there's like a ton of emphasis on Zergy to carry, and he's having exactly the start you would want for a draft like that. So, Mina, probably one of the better characters to be like a super fast tempo carry. You're not reliant on getting like a super late game into the items. The abilities themselves are quite powerful. Big catch again onto Taz, swapped in. Cosmetical punishes an attempt on the Guardian. They're looking to commit for more. Sharik kills Sane. 2 deaths for a Guardian. I mean, it doesn't feel that worth it. I mean, relatively expensive price to pay this early into the game.
All right, well, very close game. Ultimately, you know, a minute away from that 10-minute mark where, you know, things start to get a little dicey. You start to get a lot more team fights popping up around the urns and the bridge buffs. So just we get a lull for about 30 seconds now. Isn't that nice?
Yeah, Zergy's happy to farm. Yamato.
See ya.
Oh my god. Okay. Whoa. All right. That was a clincher. That was a clincher. Don't lie. We all know, Sharik. We all know you were clenching there.
Launch them across the battlefield.
A big ass robotic hand flying towards your face.
Yeah, you don't want that smoke. Wall used. Laser popped out from Demoff. Protecting the Abrams for the moment, but Cosmetical still healthy in the side lane. Could look to get some action in. For now, Abrahams want to emphasize they want to keep that healthy Guardian strong. There's a wave crashing on mid, though, and no one's here to defend it. Big hook deep, though. It's a great catch on the Obakim, but do they have the follow-up damage for it? Abrahams would love to find this kind of a fight. They push Cosmetical away from the buff and have the follow-up damage as well. He's in real trouble, and yeah, the damage is good. 2 kills around the map, especially with the buff spawning. That's a great opening for Abrahams. So this is Zergy's side of the map. Let's see what he can get done here.
Zergy having some fun. Sanguine retreats. Able to get his way out of there. So Zergy's really just on autopilot at the moment. 12k. Oof. Oh my god, 12k.
He's enormous, man. Like, this is crazy. It's crazy being that much. He's almost doubling up some of the other players in the game at 10 minutes in is truly insane. Taz is just public enemy #1 this game, man. Just keeps being sent to the Baroness Hotel. Sharik, he's getting like the credit card discount here. Oh, and a sick parry. Just absolutely read like a bedtime story, Kelvin. Saint deleted. Is this a stolen Frozen Shelter? Looks like just ensuring everybody gets healed up. Playing that tempo game. Hoot, happy to keep people alive. And that healthy guarding we were talking about, not so healthy anymore, Dan.
It is gone. It is so gone. And 8k difference now starting to amount for Buff Enjoyers over the last minute or so. So they're already taking the lead. And this is kind of what we were talking about, where they kind of like need to do that to really be competitive here. Because, and one thing that's concerning about Abrahams is that, as we've discussed a lot with Ivy, you are expecting your Ivy to be quite far ahead. It's kind of like how we used to think about 7. And I feel like we've only ever seen OCs and his teams do a good job of really allowing him to make that happen. So I'm worried that Sandy Sniper's not going to come online in time in this game.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on him too. However, I think ultimately the goal for Abraham is just weathering the storm and like getting to that late game. I feel like the fact that Taz has also taken a lot of early deaths and really been slowed down is also painful. And I mean, Zergy, like, I'm curious what's going to be really the go sign for the Buffingers. I think they're going to be mostly playing this like objective game, but I mean, Hoot has Majestic Leap now. Like, there's real potential to get active into some team fights, especially when things like the Yamato ulti are down.
Okay, so forced to defend this Walker here. And there's going to be assistance coming in from ABL on the Yamato. So this could get a little tricky for Buff Enjoys. They're trying to get out of this fight, but there are quite a few of them here. So they could turn around and re-engage if they decide that the fight looks good enough. And it looks like they're not going to do that. In fact, both teams will disperse after that one. So scary moment there, I think, for both sides.
ABL going to be able to steal Sinners, which is a very nice find at this phase of the game. You get the Rabbit Hex, but yeah, I don't think you want to commit on this. Kelvin right behind. See, ABL is not afraid at all of these damage trades here. And every camp you steal from the opponent is a nice little bit of profit there. You can see like the amount of barriers available to this Yamato. She's not easy to burn down, not easy to pressure out of your jungle. Oh, and the lowers are spawned. No one cleared the lower boxes. That's a great find for ABL. There's actually deceptively a ton of souls in clearing all these boxes and the golden statue buffs.
So what do you think is the play here for Abrahams, Jake? Like, what do they need to be like focusing on to try to kind of like, what's their win condition here?
Honestly, I think if they just defend and don't give up too much, they're happy, right? Because I do believe when it comes to late game team fights, I think they're going to have the edge. However, the lead is good enough for Buffingers. I mean, I would call this game basically dead even. Obakam caught already. Do you have that slam? It's not going to be good enough to catch down the Vindicta. And Zergy's in this fight, so this is, you know, you've got your strongest player into the engagements now for the Buffingers. Yamato tries to dive in and finish off the Vindicta, but it's not enough, and you've got a Mo trapped in here. But who's trapped in with who, man? Mo and Krill are very tanky in these spots. Laser beam from range is, I think, a stolen frozen shelter as well over the top. And this is starting to be a scary fight. Zergy still full HP. Abrahams have used their ults. They haven't found the kills.
Trying to get out of this one. Ultimately, Abraham's doing a great job. I mean, bringing back the soul differential, and you know, Zergy's pretty huge. But if you look at the overall souls for the Abrahams, you know, they're getting into really good shape, I feel. And Sonya Sniper is catching up right now as well.
Like, if the lead's not growing, it's losing relevance, right? You know, you staying at the same lead as here's Bebop on top of Mina. Seems like the hook went wide though. So Zergy, that's a little dance with death there, right? You know, you get caught on this high soul spot as Mina. You really are giving up a ton to the other team. Who's gonna take this life buff? They're thinking about it. It seems like it's gonna be cosmetical. Let him take a little bit more risks looking for those swaps. And Buffingers, they know that they are strong at this moment in the game. They want to continue tempoing this out. They want to continue snowballing things, and to that end, they're going to get that urn control. Listic takes a lot of damage doing it, but forcing these fights around urn is how you progress the game, especially with Abrams down some key ultimates. No Yamato, no Abrams for this urn fight. Phantom Strike, though, is that queued up item for Abrams, and that could be a huge game changer. I mean, you're almost 6k away. As beautiful catch on the Majestic Leap. Silence as well onto the Hoot, but he's up on the building, still has the TP away. I think he's going to be out of that one. So Dimov, stylish hook, but it doesn't end up doing much.
And we have a siege in progress on this right side Walker. So
yeah,
this is kind of a problem because there's not enough here to defend it. It's just who, and alone 10k Sinclair is not stopping this.
He's a little too high in the air, out of range on the laser on the Walker. That's to drop down to just put that normal damage in, but it's enough for the Walker take. Is it going to turn into a 1-for-1? Are Abraham's going to try and back off and make this Walker defense? It's still a full HP Walker, so it's going to be a while.
It's protection too. Oh, this is not good.
Creeps? They cleared the wave, but yeah, this is getting scary. The rotation's going to be coming in, and yeah, Buffingers know it too. They're like, we're cutting our losses out of this one. Smart call, but winning macro there for Abrahams. That's the kind of trade you need to find to win this one. And Zergy is a nice one, but debuff remover purges off the silence, and he's out of there.
Oh, scary stuff here, and the pursuit comes on through for Abrahams. They don't want to allow Buffingers to escape here as they try to lock down the Vindicta. Overkim's in trouble. He gets grabbed, and there's no surviving that one. So at the very least, there was a cost. Abraham's able to extract more value, not just the Walker, but a kill as well. And Buffingers now find themselves with their lead just starting to vanish.
Yeah, it feels like Buffingers struggling to convert into more, right? Like, Abrahams have stabilized now out of the early game. We're kind of firmly into the mid game. And the fact that the first Walker forced a team fight by Abrahams, they cleared the wave on the other side of the map so that Buffingers couldn't punish it. Opportunity for another turn here. Missed charge, though. Fancy footwork from Hoot. It's going to keep him alive for the moment. That's going to be good enough to keep this fight going. Somebody who's gone maybe a little bit deep here is ABL, but he has that Shadow Transform. Committing onto the Yamato is a very dangerous prospect. With no Kelvin Dome, maybe Buffingers think they can win this team fight. They just take it heads up. Shadow Form dropping low. EBL already low on the Yamato, trying to run for it in the combo to not get up the zip, and the damage follow-up is good. That's one of the key frontliners down for Abrahams. There's more players in through the back of this. Stolen frozen shelter once again out of Hoot. So much value deployed, and even together with the ground slam, it's just not enough to actually turn the kills. Here's Abraham's frozen shelter. Now it's their turn to be strong, but Buffingers waited out, and they're right back into this without even Mina in this fight. Buffingers are getting the win.
Yeah, and in the meantime, Zergy is trying to farm, but he is going to TP across though. So hopefully, for his sake, he was able to get value whilst his team is fighting without him. And that's going to, I mean, the scoreline is still basically the same. So it's just not growing. So like you're saying, for Abrahams, I think that's going to be a win there for them. And they are ahead of Walker as well. So Buffingers with a lot of work still left to do. And what is the plan for them? You know, we've got a minute and a half until the next bridge buffs.
No way,
are
right?
We doing mid
No way. This is crazy. Okay, there's no ultis for Abraham. Like, literally nothing. They've used everything. They got the holiday ult, just came off CD, but nonetheless, this is a crazy move. And instead, they're going to try and turn into a fight here. They're onto the side lane. They've taken down together. That's a key team fighter. And now the combo finds a second. Zergy over the top there. Brings the damage. That's Dimov and together. Both down. A catch onto a third. Abraham's starting to crumble. The mid-boss force ends up paying dividends. Sonya is going to clear out another side walker for this trade. But I think Buffingers are willing to give up almost anything here. A mid boss could be huge. ABL, but meanwhile, is under Buffingers mid walker, so an absolute all-in commit on all lanes here, giving Abrahams a lot of space on the map. They're even going to try and take a set of base guardians, but they give up a full clean rejuve and 3 kills.
They are a walker ahead at the very least, but yeah, that was just masterful stuff there from Buffingers.
Oh,
The save comes through, the flight, Ivy's ult to whisk ABL away.
Wait, is she caught? They're on top of her. I don't think she's out of this one. Maybe got pulled out of the air there.
Yeah.
And Mo
ABL
has a
got to
combo
escape.
in 15. Oh, but the hook, the defensive hook, the uppercut as well, trying to get players out of this. Buffingers want to keep doubling down, though. But it seems like Abrahams have done enough to get away from that one. And that's kind of the last objective you can give up for the Buffingers. You can't give up mid-walker. It's way too valuable. Giving up both sidewalkers, I can understand it for the rejuve. But now, can you force the team fights? It's going to be a double buff for the Buffingers, which, fitting to their namesake, could be the moment for them to open the game up.
Yeah, it really could be. And this is an amazing situation for Buffingers. I mean, that the forcing the picks with the mid boss there, it felt like there wasn't really many other ways to do it. And that was such an incredibly important moment in this game to bring them back into the driving seat. And they're going to be forcing the urn across the map. And they've got the rejuves. I don't think that Abrahams can easily challenge for this.
This is so risky to try and stop the urn here. I sort of doubt Abrahams are even going to show up to this. But that's an expensive choice, right? Because the urns are starting to get more and more valuable. Taz is, or Demov rather, is thinking about getting a hook to contest. This is kind of a classic spot. I'd be surprised if Buffingers don't read this one. And they just, quite a nice amount of denies there for Demov. He's going to be happy about that one. Zergy just getting huge. Zergy staying alone, getting a lot of solo farm.
It's all about the defense here for Abrahams.
Stolen
that is
laser.
what they got to do. Under the walkers.
Damage.
Big lasso, pulling the doorman on through. And there's the combo in return. And there's, oh my god, it gets pulled all the way under the walker. This is good stuff here so far from Abrahams to defend the walker. They're actually forcing Buffingers back a little bit.
Yeah, the rescue beam pulls them under the walker. It's a pause at a crucial moment from ABL. Is he like caught in the wall or something? He types bug. We got to check the Yamato POV. What's going on? Yamato has some next level bugs, I will be honest. It looks pretty normal to me though. I don't know. I will say being comboed by Mo and Krill and rescue beamed is like a next level play because it actually pulls the Mo himself deep under Walker. So that's one rejuve already down. Abrahams might just want to take this team fight heads up despite the rejuve crystal advantages. Remember, Zergy's not here, that's 27,000 net worth, not into this team fight. I think Buffingers just need to beat a hasty retreat, run for the hills, let Zergy clear a walk on the other side of the map. But can you actually get away from this off the pause? Opportunity for Abrahams to really plan this one out.
Are we surprised that it's ABL pausing?
Our number one villain is pausing. Let's see though. Big slam over the top. Is it good enough? Shoulder charge barely misses. Mo trying to get away. Not gonna be able to get out of this one. But since it's Listic, he's just going to die twice. Doesn't consume an additional crystal. Somebody who will consume crystals, though, is the next player potentially caught here. But somehow, some way, Paradox slips out of that one. And Zergy's continuing the push. He's going to take some base guardians if you keep chasing this, Abrahams.
Yeah, that might be the most value here because this fight, the positioning for Buffingers, it just got completely messed up. And their fight became terrible. So Abrahams was successful. They actually get a kill, even though there's still 2 rejuves up. Because of being able to pull Listic under that tower and now looking to threaten another go of it. But if Zergy's in the fight now, this is the difference. In comes Zergy. He is not messing around there. Trying to just do max damage to the walker, using the sanguine there to dodge everything, dodge the stuns, and the walker's going down. So Zergy comes in, finishes it off, and now it's 1 walker to 1. But still, the 2 rejuves are up for Buffingers, but they haven't gained a lot of souls during this time period.
Thanks, Bucket, for the primer. Much appreciated. It's Buffingers. You said 2 rejuves, but the mid-walker siege. This is a place where so many teams have fallen short. It's such a difficult place to progress the game. And the rejuve's almost out, frankly. So I think Buffingers are going to get what farm they can out of the map. I think sieging this walker is too crazy, but they're gonna go for it. Okay, an ult was copied by Hoot. I don't know which one it was. He's got something he might try to get into the fight. Beautiful hook. Oh, scored on the 5, but Mo is just deleted. Everyone ready for the punish. Sharik is going to take down that walker, and we're going to get into the fight. Buff Destroyers, it's a 5-on-6, but they do still have 2 Reju crystals. Zergy takes out big power slash to the face. And the Reju's almost ticking out. This could be a rout here. And I think Abrahams know it. They're playing full confidence. Rejubes are gone. Zergy super low, needs to get out of this fight. Cannot get caught right now. And oh, he's in the sights. But I think surely Mina, just the mobility to get out of this one.
All right, well, the map is starting to look a little more amber.
That's a big fight for Abrahams to kind of clear the map out, but there's so many camps online. I mean, these teams have been fighting non-stop. There hasn't been really that much space to jungle. Clearing Sinners is going to be of the utmost importance. And I think Buffagers have a little bit more on their side to jungle clear. Okay, that's next level.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I mean, look, creeps are creeps. They got to go down.
Suddenly, man, seems like a little bit much.
And Phantom Strike for Together, by the way, I wanted to mention that last fight. That's a game-changing pickup. Once you have Phantom Strike online, that's going to be probably the most reliable way to initiate fights for Abrahams. Phantom Strike in on Abrams, pin somebody deep out of formation. And even characters like Mina, I mean, you get stunned one time by Abrams on a wall, you're just dead. You're just going to get popped. You don't have the HP to survive that. So Zergy can never be caught by something that is theoretically like an instant stun lockdown combo. You know, there's so many other ways to finish it off behind. So definitely a scary game to be a Mina with the most farm. Like, you just will never have the tankiness to survive getting caught by the hard stuns.
It's cool to see that Obikim had the counter spell as well, which is going to could be potentially crucial if the hook's coming for you. There's like a lot of abilities. Like, okay, never mind, never mind. Okay, there's a counter spell, but
counterspell's the uppercut actually, which is kind of crucial for getting.
Yeah, that does help.
Nox Nostra popped, putting a bit of damage on the ABL. Here's the combo. Do they have the additional damage follow-up? He got pulled away by a rescue beam. Together starting to drop low. Even the Abrams doesn't have the tankiness here. Frozen Shelter popped. Stabilizing things for the moment. 2 Frozen Shelters. A Venn diagram of Frozen Shelters on the map right now. Buffagers are up 1 though, and as the dust starts to settle, it's a 6-on-5. Zergy has a bit of space to work with. Ivy's pumping huge damage in this team fight, but the Rabbit Hex should be enough. He finally slips away on the jump pad, but the snipers started to rain in, and what else is raining in but hooks the robot hand from afar. And Obikim pulled way out of formation. D-Mob gets his blood prize, and now it's actually 2 kills. So Abrahams, that hook pickup turns the fight around. Unearned pickup being attempted by Zergy, but the rest of the fight is going terribly for the Buffagers. They lose 3. Glass Cannon online now for Taz. This game's starting to worry me.
Yeah, the urn has been collected, but I don't know if that's getting turned in anytime soon. And in the meantime, the rest of Buffagers are just going to be ripe for the picking. Who's still hanging out? He's
mid boss is off. Oh, that's a free mid boss for Abrahams.
Oh my god. I wasn't even
sweating.
I didn't realize it was so soon.
The fights have just been thick and fast, man. There's been no break, but Abrahams absolutely realized it. And I don't think there's a contest to be had here. Mina's gonna get the urn dropped here, although Together's trying to contest that. I don't think he's gonna be able to with the help of Sinclair. They got the Phantom Strike in, gets a big hit. Oh, the slowing eggs, he can't get away, and that's the most farmed hero dying after a triple rejuve claim. Abrahams onto the base looking for more.
Oh my god, and who's getting chased down as well. This could be it. They could just wrap this game right here and now.
Yeah.
These 2 pickoffs staggering the respawns is literally the worst possible thing that could have happened. So that urn turn-in. If it was anyone else other than Together with the Phantom Strike.
Oh my
god.
So brutal. And even waits the parry this time to go for the uppercut. Waiting out that counterspell parry. And Obikim caught dead to rights. So far away from the base. Where's the damage follow-up? You know D-Mob wants that kill. He's hard calming it out. Frozen Shelter isolates players for the moment, keeping people alive into this one. Abraham's still healthy, still with 3 crystals online, only Together dropping low. Patron is down. Here's the laser from the Bebop, beaming into Zergy. Zergy's dropping low. Zergy needs to go back to the fountain, take the reset, but ABL has found Sharik, and Abrahams have found the win here in a decisive game 3. They make the comeback happen. The team fights are good, and Abrahams are better. 2-1. Your reigning EU champs send Buffagers packing after an incredibly close best of 3.
Your turn, Dan.
Oh. Abrahams did it. I shouldn't have reversed my prayer. I can't believe I've done this. And I also think that Obikim needs to file a restraining order against D-Mob because of all those hooks. Yep. Absolutely criminal harassment.
Ovikin's like, bro, why did we let this guy leave? Like, it's the worst when it's your old teammate too. And Insurgent has such a strong game, but we just got that Phantom Strike online, man, and the hooks kept coming.
The best part of Night Shift is the winner wins all the money, loser gets nothing. Congratulations to the Abrahams walking away with another big dub. How do we feel about Cosmetical? This was his first appearance with Buff Enjoyers tonight. I know we talked a lot about the importance of the drafts. How did he play individually in your eyes, Jake?
Very solid. I mean, it's a shame we only got to see one game on the pocket, but I think he was undoubtedly a key contributor on all the heroes and showcased a pretty diverse pool today. So I'm excited to see more out of Cosmetical. You know, even though today Abrams get the win, I feel like it's absolutely the case that this Buff Enjoyers roster has what it takes to, in the future, be the champion. And so definitely a little bit of, time to revise and adjust your strategy coming into that next week for Buff Enjoyers, but I think I'm just super excited to see more of them. They've been gone for way too long, in my opinion.
Yeah. DDK, how close was this matchup? Looking at the numbers, it seemed to go back and forth, with Buff Enjoyers seeming to have the edge throughout most of it.
Yeah, I think this was extraordinarily close. I think there was definitely some... I think it came down to the macro ultimately, because I think both of these teams definitely had opportunities to win this game. And we had that situation where Buff Enjoyers did a great job just securing some picks after going for the mid boss, and then using that as bait, getting 3 kills, getting a rejuve, and then their siege onto the Walker turned into a very bad positional fight for them when they had a really big advantage. So big props to how Abrahams handled that. But that was I think that was the fumble. That was the major fumble for me in this series, that if Buff Enjoyers were to play that a little bit differently, I think Buff Enjoyers are still probably, in the lead and potentially win this game. So it was so close. It's very hard to call between these two sides because it just comes down to those small macro things.
D-Mob originally won me over with his viscous play. Now his Bebop, maybe my new favorite. He was grabbing folks all game long, causing chaos and tilting the numbers in favor of your reigning champions. Abraham's taking again 2-1. We've got an MVP award to hand out, and we just saw a few of the highlights. Did you get your vote in, DDK? Jake, you're smiling. I think I know who you picked.
Look, I got my vote in. Wanted to see, I always lead up to where the best highlight clips, what has the sickest, footage behind it on the MVP.
They can see more than what we do.
Exactly. So I give deference, but I do agree. I think D-Mob put on a crazy show there. I also want to highlight, together, just destroyed game 1. Just absolutely destroyed game 1. I know that was a while ago, but man, it felt like that game was over from literally the first picks of the draft. That is crazy to have a player as good as Together. I think on the Abrams in game 3, he was also phenomenal. Definitely a lower eco style, but ultimately they just survived.
3-3-5 is not very sexy, but you're doing your job.
But this is Abrams at the top level. You're more about catching people and starting fights and locking them down than you are about impressive stats. You're not really going to hit that many final blows. You're not really going to do that great stats of really any kind. But you're so crucial to being able to start the fights. I also think Saint getting 2 Kelvin games, pretty phenomenal for him, right? He's going to be super happy about that one going into the future, as Saint almost never gets to play Kelvin. Teams almost always ban it out against him, and Buff Enjoyers, there were too many threats to worry about. You had to prio the Together Shiv. You had to let Saint get that Kelvin, and it just goes to show, man, this is such a stacked roster on Abrahams. There's so many players who can have a huge impact. Add D-Mob's Bebop to the list, right? There's just too many threats to really answer here. And even though I think Taz had an uncharacteristically quiet game on the Holiday in game 3, the rest of the team was there to back him up. Sonya got huge on the Ivy, and then ABL, a signature Yamato game, 6-1 and 9, really dominated the server in terms of look at that damage stat. Pretty disgusting, right? It's kind of carrying in terms of that frontline damage pressure, still going with a very, very tanky, heavy frontliner build. So really well played by Abrahams. They easily deserve this victory, but I can't wait to see Buff Enjoyers back for a rematch next week.
It's time to see your MVP. We already touched on it, and here it is officially. We will switch it to D-Mob. Why? He has some of the best clips. We wanted to show you his 13 assists on the little guy with the cranky arm. Let's take a look at the plays here. DDK, what was your favorite contribution? Was it the haze? Was it the robot? What did we like from the guy that used to roll around the map?
So definitely everything that D-Mob played was excellent. I think we had that. Jake make a great shout to the support haze and how it roams so effectively, and I think it's some of the best roaming haze that we have seen. But I don't want to go too much into that because I do think the Bebop is hard not to just give the trophy to of all of the different looks that we saw from Bebop. And there you go. Like, where the hell did that come from? And you had this poor Obikim guy buying a counterspell just to avoid that stuff, and it just wasn't enough.
The D-Mob, the grabs were just so aggressive. This is a team guy, not always greedy. When you give him a chance, though, he's got pop-out potential. Is it just like Roadhog, by the way, for all of my Overwatch friends coming over? You do the 180 for like maximum.
Yeah, actually, it does pretty much work like Roadhog. And also because you have the uppercut, so you want to uppercut people deeper into your team rather than back towards their allies where they can get help. So
it's like Doomfist combined with it's my favorite character.
Yeah.
We got Yoshi hanging out with us in the chat. Shout out to all the devs who have been popping off for us. We had API drop out for a minute where we couldn't get stats. How quickly they got it back up and running for a show like this was insane. So mad love to everyone over on the Valve side, everyone working behind the scenes, and of course our players for putting on a hell of a show. Once again, Abraham's Buff Enjoyers round 16, I feel like, maybe round 20. Lives up to the hype. DDK, favorite moment on the first half, because I know we still have a second half of the show to go.
Favorite moment in the first half, I guess. I actually really liked seeing the Doorman and Sinclair combo run by Buff Enjoyers. Like, that was really cool as like an answer to like, because we've had Kelvin get insta-banned every single time. And so to actually have a draft that you can construct where it can work as a counter to that was really cool to see, because we've never seen it done in that way before. So to me, I think that's one of the coolest things I saw today.
YouTube is saying that don't allow Snowy Boy to get through. It was simply the Kelvin that was the difference maker. Jake, true or false? YouTube is right.
I think Kelvin was value, although I don't think it was actually like backbreaking. To your point, Dan, I think, Buffinger showed there's a way to outplay it if you have exactly the right synergy and really high level coordination. Do you think Kelvin's maybe a little too strong still? I'm just happy that they let the demon out. You know what? Like, I know I was blaming Buffingers for letting the Shiv through, but I like to see the together Shiv every once in a while. Just let him put on a show. Let him out into the pasture, the wolf among the sheep, and just see what happens. It's always exciting if maybe a little bit one-sided when you give him the Shiv-Kelvin.
I'm told we have more fun during the break from our friend Jason Kaplan. Also, big shout out to the community artwork, Milk Carton. Ridiculous stuff. If you ever wanted to know what a VPE 25 was, you might want to check out our brand new emote. We went to Jake. We asked, hey, can we get approval for just a little miscellaneous fun? He's like, what's it for? And we're like, it doesn't matter. Just don't worry. We just have we're like, Dad, can we just have a little bit of money? He's like, yeah. Now we have a brand new emote. If you're over on twitch.tv/Deadlock Night Shift, please spam it in the chat. DDK is lost in the sauce. He's about to find out as the Vipers rain from above. We're going to break. When we come back, more fun. It's the Night Shift, episode 15.
Welcome back, everyone, to